What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 3TF. Chapter 51 Pluton Rayleigh. Interesting for you. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 160. 40. 53. I want to buy information about someone from you. My charges are very expensive. Do you have enough Baileys? Of course. So, whose information do you want? The right arm of the Pirate King, Silver. Rayleigh named, Pluton. What is your purpose? Shaki's face changed slightly. But few people knew about her relationship with Rayleigh, and except for the old crew members of the Roger Pirates, no one knew that the legendary, Pluton, Rayleigh actually lived in seclusion in the Sabayati archipelago and transformed into a coated old man. Ms. Shaki, don't be nervous. We don't mean any harm. Amber quickly explained. It was Crocus who introduced us here. Here is his letter of introduction. Amber took out Crocus' letter and handed it to Shaki. Shaki took the letter and read it for a while before putting it down. I didn't expect that after so many years, Crocus is still alive. You are really extraordinary. You can actually be recognized by Crocus. And you just simply came to Rayleigh to help with coding. Coding is only one aspect of it. Pluton, a living legend, how can we not compete with each other? Amber explained. Then he pointed at his partners behind him. My partners are making slow progress in Haki practice. I hope to get the guidance of Uncle Rayleigh, a Haki master. Shaki nodded understandingly, but it's unlucky for you to come here. That guy Rayleigh sold himself again. I don't know when he will come back. Sold yourself? Nami asked with a puzzled look on his face. That guy Rayleigh likes gambling and drinking. My small business can't afford his squandering, so he often sells himself to slave traders. After the auction, he knocks out the buyers and slave owners and lets the slaves go. Take away their property by the way. Shaki took a puff of cigarette and explained calmly. That's really cool. This Uncle Rayleigh must be a very cool person. Frankie said with great admiration. Yes, yes. Chopper echoed from the side. Haha, I have never heard anyone describe pirates as cool. Little Amber, your crew is really interesting. Shaki couldn't help laughing. Yes, Amber also smiled slightly. But what a coincidence. I didn't expect that Uncle Rayleigh wouldn't. Amber suddenly stopped talking. Because his heart network sensed a very powerful aura approaching, and there was no malicious intent, there was no one else but Rayleigh. No, it should be just in time. Uncle Rayleigh will be back soon. Squeak. Sure enough, not long after Amber finished speaking, the bar door was pushed open, and an old man with white hair and beard wearing round glasses came in. The old man looks ordinary, his clothes are slightly sloppy, he has a straight scar around his eye, and he is wearing slippers. He looks very unkempt, but he is filled with a domineering aura, which can make a profound impact on people at a glance. This is the right arm of the Pirate King, Silver Rayleigh named, Pluton. Oh, there are so many guests here today, it's really lively. Rayleigh said with a smile as he walked in. Shaki shook his head. Rayleigh, these are not ordinary guests, but the famous, Thor, and his partners, who came specifically to see you. Thor came here specifically to see me, a reclusive, ordinary old man. Rayleigh asked with interest. Ha ha ha, if the famous, Pluton, and the living legend were ordinary, then there would be no legends in this world. Amber flattered him a little first. As the saying goes, if you stretch out your hand and don't hit the smiling person, you will wear it out but flattery will never wear it out. Anyway, to put it nicely, Amber has nothing to lose. Uncle Rayleigh, I was introduced here by Senior Crocus. This is his letter of introduction. Amber handed the letter to Rayleigh. It's Crocus. It's been a long time since I last saw him. Rayleigh quickly scanned the letter after taking it, and quickly confirmed that it was Crocus's handwriting and tone. How is Crocus now? Rayleigh walked to the chair in front of the bar and sat down, pouring himself a glass of wine. Crocus is still guarding Laboon at Twin Points. We agreed to go back to visit Laboon in 2 years. Amber briefly talked about the situation of Crocus, Laboon and Brook. That's it. Laboon is still waiting there, and 50 years have passed in the blink of an eye. You must be one of the people Laboon has been waiting for. I didn't expect that there would be such a magical fruit that allows people to transcend death. Rayleigh looked at Brook and said with a faint smile. Oh, hee, I was surprised at first. It was probably because God hoped that I could fulfill my promise with Laboon that he gave me another chance. Brook replied with emotion. At this time Rayleigh looked at Amber again. Then what is your purpose? Amber repeated what she just said to Shaki. Oh, do you want to challenge me? Rayleigh's eyes flashed. Where, fighting other legendary pirates, I'm afraid I'll be beaten to death, so I hope Uncle Rayleigh can be merciful. Amber said with a smile. Do you know about the dragon pirates? Rayleigh suddenly changed the subject and his voice became deeper. Rayleigh's move made the entire Shadow Pirates nervous, because Amber told them about the relationship between Rayleigh and Haki before landing, but Haki died in Amber's hands. After hearing this, Nami became nervous instantly and stood up to explain. That is because. Nami, let me speak. Before she finished speaking, Amber gently put her hand on Nami's little head, rubbed it, and interrupted. The dragon pirates are all dead, I can kill them. Amber faced Rayleigh. Then do you know my relationship with Xiaoba? Rayleigh asked calmly after taking a sip of wine. I know, but I still won't let him go. Because he killed my partner's mother, hurt my partner, and made my partner cry. Rayleigh stared at Amber, and the waves of conquerors emanating from her body were only aimed at Amber. Amber was still fearless and even picked up the wine and drank it. Everyone else around them was very nervous. Suddenly Rayleigh cancelled Conqueror's Haki and sat slumped in the chair. I had already guessed this day when Xiao Ba chose to follow the evil dragon out to sea. The evil dragon's hatred for humans is too deep. How could Xiao Ba not be affected by following him? One day he would die at the hands of humans. Here, Rayleigh exclaimed. Although it is Xiao Ba's fault, he saved me after all. I can't do nothing. I agree to your challenge. Regardless of winning or losing, this matter has been revealed, and it is also an explanation to Xiao Ba. Chapter 52 Fighting Rayleigh. Amber bowed deeply sincerely. I have great admiration for people like Rayleigh who are clear about grievances, because he can't do it himself. If someone hurts someone Amber cares about, Amber will not care about your reasons, whether it is justice or not, and will directly drive the Gundam to take revenge. Under Shaki's powerful intelligence system, he quickly found a nearby uninhabited desert island. On the one hand, the damage range of the two people's battle of this level was too wide. On the other hand, they were afraid of alarming Marine of the Sabayati archipelago. Although he was not afraid, but disgusting. Like flies. On an uninhabited island, Amber and Rayleigh stood far apart from each other. Others are on the Thor not far away. Amber observed Rayleigh carefully. Even though Rayleigh is now over 70 years old, she is still very strong. Oda once explained on SBS that Rayleigh's strength was very close to Roger the Pirate King when he was young. Not only is he very strong in swordsmanship, but in addition to swordsmanship, he also possesses the Conqueror's Haki, and is a Grandmaster. In the original work, in order to save Straw Hat Luffy and his gang, they fought on a par with Marine Admiral Kizaru for a short time. He can also swim through the calm belt with his bare hands. You can imagine how terrifying his strength is. But there are still weaknesses, that is, he is old, his physical endurance cannot keep up, and he cannot fight a protracted battle. This may be the key to whether Amber can win. When Amber was observing Rayleigh, Rayleigh was also observing Amber, and the two sides were locked in a confrontation. God's sanction, Amber decided to take a preemptive strike and raised her hand to shoot a lightning column several meters away. Before Lei Zhu could get close to Rayleigh, the famous sword Aurora in Rayleigh's hand swung out a huge sword energy and cancelled out the Lei Zhu. Then Rayleigh stepped on the ground fiercely and flew over in an instant. The ground was shattered faster than Marine 6 styles, shaving. Rayleigh flew forward and slashed with his knife without delay. Amber turned sideways to avoid the slash, which landed on the ground. The sword energy instantly tore the ground apart, spreading hundreds of meters starting from Rayleigh. There was a trace of cold sweat on Amber's forehead. If she was hit, she might be cut in half directly. It seemed that the old man had no intention of holding back. Then get serious about it. The right hand is instantly covered with armed color to enhance its hardness, and a large amount of lightning is gathered to enhance its lethality. Hell thrust. 4 good skills. His right hand turned into a palm and stabbed at Rayleigh's shoulder. Rayleigh had no time to dodge and could only barely cover it with his weapon color. The sword in his hand also slashed from bottom to top. Rayleigh's shoulder was pierced, and a blood flower instantly appeared. At this time, Rayleigh's sword also cut open Amber's chest, leaving a long scar. Then the two suddenly separated. Uncle Rayleigh, you are really serious. Amber said with a faint smile. You're not bad either. The rumors outside that you tied Qingzi are somewhat true. Rayleigh replied. Then, I'm going to do it for real. Amber jumped suddenly into the air, raising her hands high to feel the thunder elements around her. God's punishment. Dozens of thunder and lightning instantly fell from the sky, bombarded them, and wreaked havoc on the earth like silver snakes dancing wildly. Rayleigh is like a feather in the strong wind or duckweed in the turbulent sea, floating everywhere. Before every thunder and lightning strikes, Rayleigh can escape first. The thunder and lightning gradually dissipated, and the ground seemed to have been plowed by an ox. No part of it was intact, but Rayleigh was still safe and sound. Even if this level of seeing and hearing does not reach Katakori's level of predicting the future, it is not far behind. The ultimate move can't hit at all, is it only close combat? Thinking of this, Amber slowly descended. Rayleigh swung the sword in his hand quickly, so fast that afterimages even appeared, and each wave carried a sword energy of more than 10 meters. The sword energy came one after another, forming a sword storm. The sword energy tore through the entire uninhabited island, flattening the trees and hills one by one. Aboard the Thor, Zoro was shocked when he saw Rayleigh's exquisite swordsmanship. Is this the swordsmanship of a truly strong man? I'm still far from it. Because he came out of Grand Line 2 years earlier, Zoro missed the encounter with Hawkeye and never really saw the swordsmanship of the top masters. He didn't know how far behind he was compared to them, but now he finally saw it. At first, Amber was able to dodge by teleporting, but the sword energy was too dense, and the teleport CD obviously couldn't keep up. Moreover, each sword energy was attached to Haki, so elemental attacks couldn't be defended. Amber couldn't withstand it and was hit on her arms, chest, and face, leaving large and small scars. FK. Amber yelled angrily and rushed towards Rayleigh, resisting the sword energy. He closed his fist with his right hand, burst out a strong electric light, and punched it with all his strength. Rayleigh stopped swinging the sword and held the sword across her chest to resist Amber's fist, but the impact of the fist was too strong and sent Rayleigh flying away. Rayleigh's figure flew hundreds of meters upside down, creating a long groove on the ground, and the trees and rocks it passed were directly smashed into pieces. Amber was unyielding and turned into lightning to chase after her, aiming at Rayleigh and firing thunder and lightning continuously. Rayleigh used his sword to guide all the thunder and lightning away, and faced him with his sword. Boom! The fists and swords intersected, and black lightning crackled around them. With the two people at the center, powerful air pressure raged around them. Even everyone on the Thor was affected. I didn't expect little Amber to be able to fight to such an extent with Rayleigh. Haki couldn't help but sigh, but she was not worried at all, because no one knew how strong Rayleigh was better than her. Pong, pong, pong. Amber used her fists as weapons. You used a sword and I punched. The two sides engaged in an offensive and defensive battle for more than 10 minutes. Huh. Gradually, Rayleigh began to pant. After all, she was over 70 years old and her physical strength could not keep up. Although Amber's Haki level and attack power are completely inferior to Rayleigh, Amber is better because she is young and strong, and her physical endurance and recovery are better than Rayleigh. Pong. After another fight, Rayleigh dodged and jumped away. I'm old, I wanted to test you again, but my physical strength can't keep up. I'm going to use my real power next, so be careful. Amber's eyes were sharp. He knew what Rayleigh was talking about, which was Conqueror's entanglement. Chapter 53 Conqueror's Haki and Perfect Susanoo. Interesting for you. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 807. 202. 269. Rayleigh stood there holding the sword and did not launch an attack, but a terrifying momentum burst out from Rayleigh and attacked Amber. Rayleigh is like the only king between heaven and earth. The air is cracked due to Conqueror's vibration. The ground and trees are also cracked due to Haki. The surrounding dust is flying everywhere due to Haki's vibration. Amber seemed to be facing the whole world. This momentum constantly oppressed Amber and forced Amber to surrender. It's completely different from the Conquerors that Rayleigh released in the bar just now. So, that's it. Is this Conqueror's Haki? Amber murmured in a low voice, then her eyes widened, her aura suddenly changed, and an aura similar to Rayleigh Conqueror's rose up from Amber. The two momentums are competing against each other. This is Amber's Conqueror's Haki. Originally, Amber's Conqueror's has never awakened, but now it finally awakens under the pressure of Rayleigh Conqueror's. You, too. Rayleigh looked a little shocked. You must know that Conqueror's Haki can only be awakened by one among millions of people. It is the potential to become a king. Everyone who possesses Conquerors is destined to be extraordinary. Rayleigh wanted to continue testing the boy in front of her and increase the pressure. After all, Amber had just awakened and was not very skilled yet. She was quickly overwhelmed by Rayleigh's Conquerors. Although she was at a disadvantage, she was finally able to protect Amber. The collision of the two Conquerors caused the sky and the earth to change color. Red and black lightning loomed around, the surrounding air waves rolled, the ground completely shattered, and finally the clouds in the sky were shaken away. Even the people on the Thor in the distance could clearly feel the powerful pressure. What kind of power is this? Zoro broke into a cold sweat and looked at the center of the pressure. Okay, it's so scary. I even feel like I'm about to faint. Canis, the weakest of the crowd, who had just eaten devil fruit not long ago, said weakly while being supported by Nami. Amber, will he be okay? Nami said worriedly, looking at the direction of the battle. This is Conqueror's Haki, little Amber, she is really not an ordinary person. Haki looked as shocked as Rayleigh. She and Rayleigh had stayed in the Sabayati archipelago for more than 20 years and had seen many pirates, and I haven't found many who have Conqueror's Haki. ... It's amazing. You actually awakened Conqueror's Haki during the battle. What kind of path will your future take? Rayleigh is full of expectations for Amber's future achievements. Who knows? Amber smiled lightly. As that's so, then, I'm coming, be careful. Rayleigh shouted, and then placed the aurora across his chest, and his momentum suddenly changed. If he was the king who ruled the sea just now he is the Shinigami who took away the life. The aurora of the sword was gradually covered with black, and this feeling was not the color of weapons, but Conquerors. Rayleigh waved a sword lightly without any move name. A huge sword energy spanning the sky and the earth slashed out from the sword. Amber felt a huge danger approaching. Crack. Starting from Rayleigh's sword, everything in front began to split. The ground, trees, air, and clouds in the sky were all split in half. The sword energy moves forward at a fast speed, and the direction of the sword energy is Amber. Holy shit, this old man is serious. If you get hit by this move, you will really die. Amber was shocked in her heart. Do you want to teleport away? Amber couldn't help but ask herself. No, I can stop it. Amber instantly strengthened her heart. Life would still be boring if there were no challenges. Amber's eyes turned blood red, with strange patterns inside the pupils, and Mangekyo Sharingan appeared. Mangekyo Sharingan turned rapidly, and 2 lines of blood inevitably flowed from Amber's eyes. Rows of skeletons began to appear. The skeletons evolved rapidly, and instantly evolved into the 4th form of Crow Tengu, with the defensive artifact Bachi Mirror blocking in front of them. Bang! The sword energy struck the 8-foot mirror hard. The 8-foot mirror is indeed a defensive artifact. It blocked Rayleigh's sword energy, but cracks soon appeared in the places where the 8-foot mirror was not protected, and it was about to break through to the amber inside Susanoo. Damn it! Since the 4th form can't stop it, then let's go to the full body form. Susanoo in the form of Crow Tengu immediately expanded and became larger, and gradually appeared complete hands and feet, becoming a complete human form. A pair of wings grew from behind, holding a huge Juken sword in her right hand, and a 8-foot mirror in her left hand. It has also become more than 200 meters high, like a giant holding up the world. With a flick of the 8-foot mirror in Susanoo's hand, Rayleigh's sword energy was abruptly changed in direction and flew to the other side of the sea, splitting the entire sea in half. Looking down from the sky, the entire uninhabited island was split into two halves starting from Rayleigh, but the crack seemed to have been completely cut off in front of Susanoo. What move is this? Looking at the 200-meter-plus red giant in front of him, as if he was a tiny ant, Rayleigh looked very surprised, even though he had never seen such a thing before, no matter how well informed he was. Susanoo. People who have seen this move before call it the power of God. Amber replied lightly. On the Thor in the distance. What is this? Is this also little Amber's move? Looking at the huge giant, the one who was most surprised was Haki. It's so powerful. It's so big. This is the move Amber used against Admiral last time. Chopper exclaimed from the side. I remember that Amber didn't look like this when she used it last time. Is this what this move really looks like? Amber still has some power left when fighting against Admiral. Robin analyzed rationally on the side. Amber. Nami looked at the huge giant and murmured softly. This giant is really super cool. Quote. Uncle Rayleigh, since I took a move from you, now it's your turn to take a move from me. The 8-foot mirror in Susanoo's hand disappeared, and then she held the 10-fist sword in both hands. Wait, Amber. Rayleigh interrupted hurriedly. Prehistoric. Open the sky and split the earth. Amber ignored it at all and controlled Susanoo to launch the attack. The 10-fist sword was swung down fiercely, and a red slash was slashed out, instantly splitting the entire world into two. Rayleigh relied on his excellent knowledge and color to dodge dangerously. After slashing the entire island into two, it still didn't disappear. It moved forward and split the ocean it passed into two. The destructive power was even greater than Rayleigh's move just now, and this was just Amber's move. Just a basic attack. Chapter 54 Rogers Past. Come again. Hongwang, Kaishin. Susanoo raised the 10-fist sword with both hands, aiming at Rayleigh and striking out again. Rayleigh was so frightened that she interrupted hastily. Wait a minute, I give up. It's impossible not to admit defeat. This brat has no respect for the elderly. Uncle Rayleigh, are you sure? I'm getting old, and I really can't keep up with young people like you. Rayleigh sighed. Amber then released Susanoo and slowly fell to the ground. Rayleigh put the sword back into its sheath, walked over and asked curiously, Amber, that move just now, called Susanoo, what kind of ability is it? I remember you are not a Thunder Fruit ability user. It's the unique ability of Sharingan, our family's unique bloodline. Is that so? Rayleigh stopped asking. After all, everyone has their own secrets, and the sea is so vast that any strange abilities are possible. After that, Amber and Rayleigh returned to the Thor. Amber, are you okay? You're hurt. As soon as they returned to the boat, Nami ran over nervously. Seeing the large and small wounds on Amber's body, she asked with concern. Amber hugged Nami and comforted her. I'm fine. These are just superficial injuries. With my recovery power, I'll be fine in 2 or 3 days. After finishing speaking, he nodded towards Robin who had a worried expression on his face. Nami, don't worry. This philandering captain is not good at anything else, but he is still very strong. Perona floated in the air and said with a smile. Perona, it seems that I have treated you so well that you are so presumptuous now that you dare to speak to the captain like this. Amber raised her eyebrows at Perona and pretended to be scared. Slightly, Perona made a face and flew back to the cabin as if running away. Everyone returned to Shaki's bar. Little Amber, you are really amazing. You beat Rayleigh until she gave up. Shaki praised while helping his old man bandage his wounds. Ha. Lucky. It's all Uncle Rayleigh's mercy. Amber responded modestly. I have no mercy. I really can't beat him. He's old and can't keep up with the times. Rayleigh shook his head and said with a wry smile. No one can resist the erosion of time. Even the strongest Whitebeard in the world is old. The time for us old guys has passed. The future belongs to you young people. Old Rayleigh, according to Marine's report, wasn't the Roger pirates all captured? How did you escape Marine's capture? Perona asked boredly while holding a drink in her hand. Everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates looked over curiously. He wasn't caught. Roger turned himself in. Rayleigh picked up the glass and drank. Quote ? Everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates were extremely surprised. The government may have announced that he was arrested to show off its power. 4 years before his execution, he suffered from an incurable disease and only relied on the help of Crocus to maintain his life. In other words, the Pirate King Galdi. Roger, despite being seriously ill, still defeated countless powerful competitors and finally reached Raftel. Zoro said in surprise. Next, Rayleigh told the past events of the Roger Pirates. Uncle Rayleigh, have you been to Laludru too? Frankie asked in shock. That's right. Everyone opened their mouths in surprise. Rayleigh looked at Amber, who had been silent and eating. Is your target also a big secret treasure? Well, I'm still very curious. Just curious. Interesting. Don't you want to ask me where Raftel is? No need, I will go with my friends. What's the point of knowing in advance? Amber said with a smile. Ha, That's really interesting. I haven't seen such an interesting newcomer for a long time. What are your next plans? Rayleigh laughed. Amber thought seriously for a while. Next, we will find a place to practice and improve our strength. So, Uncle Rayleigh, I hope you can guide me and my companions in our practice. Rayleigh was a little surprised. Aren't you going to New World? Usually the pirates he sees are in a hurry after arriving at the Sabayati archipelago, and they want to run to the New World immediately. Of course, in the end they will either be defeated by the Four Emperors and join the Four Emperors group, or they will be directly destroyed by the Four Emperors group. Amber shook her head. I was able to fight Uncle Rayleigh only because of my special bloodline ability. In terms of true strength, I'm still far from it, and there's still a lot of room for improvement. After speaking, Amber looked at her property panel. Name. Open black lens bracket Amber close black lens bracket. Age. Open black lens bracket 17 close black lens bracket. Power. 7 stars. Agility. 8 stars. Physique. 7 stars. Spirit. 8 stars. The average person is 1 star. Devil Fruit. Thunder Fruit 7 stars. Haki. Armed Color 7 stars. Information Color 6 stars. Conquerors 1 star. Equipment. Mangekyo Sharingan Uchiha Itachi version. Comprehensive Combat Power. 8 stars, 8.5 Equipment Bonus. The 4 basic attributes, Armed Color and Observation Color have not yet reached the top level, Conquerors is still in its infancy, and its fruit ability has not yet been awakened. It is purely for seeking abuse in the New World with this kind of strength. Besides, my crew members are not strong enough to enter the New World. Taking them into the New World at this time will actually harm them. Everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates fell silent after hearing this. Yes, they are too weak. For so long, they have encountered many enemies that they have been unable to deal with, and it was Amber who was at the forefront. It's been a long time since I've seen a pirate who can understand himself so clearly. I agree to your request. Rayleigh smiled at Kaido. Just in time, I found a place that is very suitable for cultivation. By the way, Uncle Rayleigh, if first lure Marine Admiral to Sabayati Archipelago, will it affect you? Amber suddenly said something. Marine Admiral, do you want to? Amber, you are such a bold guy, do you really want to do this? Rayleigh was confused at first, and then asked in shock. You have to think clearly. Since the establishment of world government 800 years ago, no one has ever dared to do this. You are very strong, and with the move of summoning giants, not even Marine Admiral can keep you. Maybe you I don't know, there was a person who wanted to do this in the era before Roger, but failed in the end. It's Rocks. How do you know? Rayleigh asked in surprise. Rocks' existence has obviously been completely wiped out by the world government. No one knows about his existence except the people of that era. Chapter 55 Auction. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 592. 148. 197. Of course I have my own channels. Amber blurted out. Just because the predecessors didn't dare to do something, it doesn't mean that future generations won't dare to do it either. If the predecessors failed, it doesn't mean that future generations will also fail. Can you tell me why you want to do this? No special reason, it's just that the garbage is so disgusting that I want to kill it. Amber shrugged. Do you want to do whatever you want? Rayleigh commented. Everyone was confused as to what kind of riddle these two people were playing. Amber, what are you talking about? Nami asked doubtfully. Marine Admiral, lead to. Perona suddenly thought of what Amber had said to scare her when she first arrived at Sabayati Archipelago, and then she looked horrified. This B********* D captain is going to take action against celestial dragons. Perona shouted in horror. What? Everyone cried out in shock. Is it fake? Amber. Nami asked in disbelief. Yes, I just have this idea. Amber nodded calmly. A-hole, didn't you say that if you attack the celestial dragons, you will attract the Marine Admiral? Do you want to kill us all? Perona grabbed Amber's collar and shouted angrily. Calm down, calm down. Amber put a hand on Perona's little head to prevent her from coming closer. Amber, do you really want to do this? Nami asked nervously. We can't deal with a monster like the Marine Admiral. Chopper exclaimed, holding his head in his hands. Oh haha, it seems that the captain is really going to do something big this time. Zoro said calmly and seriously, Amber, are you sure? That's right, there is no other way. Now that the captain has decided, all we can do is go crazy with him. No, I don't want to go, I will die. Perona burst into tears. Looking at these guys who seemed to be performing crosstalk, Amber couldn't help but have black lines on her head. Did you misunderstand something? I said I was going alone. What? Everyone. Amber, we are partners. Although I am weak, I still want to fight with everyone. No, Amber, I won't let you go alone. You have to take me with you, I'm strong now. The friends all expressed their objections, and Nami even hugged Amber like a koala. Everyone knows my speed. It's easier to escape by myself. As long as I want to escape, no one can stop me. Amber persuaded Nami. But the celestial dragons are all in the Holy Land Mariajoy. Amber, what are you going to do? Robin, who doesn't know how to act coquettishly, can only persuade Amber to give up her plan in this way. Although they live on the Red Line, they use the Sabayati Archipelago as their back garden and often come here to buy slaves. Robin stared straight at Amber and said in a pleading tone, Amber, can you not go? Amber looked at the tasks on the system and said, this really doesn't work. Promise me that you will come back alive. Robin no longer concealed his feelings and threw himself into the arms of Amber's other half under everyone's surprised gazes. Does this make my dream of holding two sisters in my arms come true? Amber feels a little weird. With the speed of the Thor, a warship that relies on wind power will never be able to keep up. When the time comes, you can drive the ship to the shore. I will teleport back when I'm done. Then we can flee directly. Amber revealed her plan. According to Shaki's information, the next large-scale auction of Sabayati Archipelago will be in 3 days. There are very precious mermaid slaves in this auction, so the celestial dragons will definitely be there, and the location is at 1GR. Amber took advantage of these 3 days to check out the places. The biggest headache for Amber was how to let more people know about it, so as to achieve better task completion. After looking at the task, it said that the system would provide assistance throughout the entire process. Amber asked casually. She didn't expect that the system could really solve the problem. The system could directly control phone bugs around the world and force them to play the scene they wanted to play. All is ready except for the opportunity. 3 days later, the auction was held as scheduled. Amber just put on a black cloak to hide her identity. Why is she so famous? The god of thunder with a bounty of 800 million belly. Amber walked to the venue where the auction was held and was about to enter when she was stopped by the guard at the door. I'm sorry, sir, because we need to ensure the safety of the auction guests, we need you to cooperate with us in taking off the cloak and letting us search you. The guard smiled and had a very friendly attitude. Is it indeed a large-scale auction? It's so formal. Amber thought for a while, took out a bag of Bailey from her arms and handed it to the guard. Brother, my face is disfigured and it is not convenient to take off the cloak. I have 1 million Baileys here. Can you please accommodate me? The guard first looked around to make sure no one was there, then carefully took Bailey. For an ordinary little guard, 1 million belly is equivalent to his salary for a year. No one is stupid enough to do anything at this kind of auction. You must know that there are celestial dragons present, and no one wants to lose it in vain. Life. Okay, come on over. The guard shouted in a pretentious manner, and then got out of the way. Amber walked in and found that the entire venue was ridiculously big. There was an attendant next to her. After the attendant asked, she spent 1 million belly to buy a private room. He walked into the private room and waited quietly for the auction to begin. Hello everyone, welcome to XXX auction. The host standing on the stage loudly announced the start of the auction. This auction not only includes various precious artworks and souvenirs, but also devil fruit, which is known as a secret treasure on the sea. Most importantly, there is also a beautiful mermaid from the Fishmen Island, which is 10,000 meters under the sea. Who will have the chance? How about taking these treasures into your pocket? Let's see whose pocket is bigger. Devil fruit. Amber's eyes flashed when she heard devil fruit. Since she was going to kill someone later, why not grab the devil fruit too? Stop giving me nonsense there and start quickly. At this time, an annoying voice directly interrupted the host's bragging, but others did not dare to be dissatisfied because the owner of the voice was the descendant of the creator, the world's nobles, celestial dragons. Chapter 56 Auction 2. Yes, Saint Charmico. The host did not dare to disobey the celestial dragon's wishes, and immediately knelt on the ground tremblingly. Fate is really wonderful. The celestial dragon Amber met was the one that was punched away by Luffy in the original book. Unfortunately, it was only punched away by Luffy, and it continued to jump around and disgust people. However, this time he met Amber. Okay, now the auction officially begins, and the first auction item is now on the stage, X's painting. Then all kinds of strange things were auctioned one by one, such as the clothes worn by the princess, Chelsea worn by the prince, and slaves of various other races. Okay, the next one to be auctioned is a very precious Logia devil fruit union fruit. Logia. Amber's eyes instantly turned red. You know, every Logia devil fruit can instantly turn an ordinary person into a Superman-like existence. Needless to say, a Logia devil fruit is precious, even the world government cannot take it out casually. Like CP9, who worked hard and served as servants and dogs, the reward given by the world government was just the most ordinary zone devil fruit. The host's words instantly caused a sensation in the audience, and they looked at the fruit greedily. Mine. I want that fruit, it's mine. No, I won't give it to you, I can get revenge with that fruit. Are you looking for death? Dare to compete with me, do you know who my father is? The crowd started to quarrel before the auction started. The host was very satisfied with the atmosphere on the scene. Okay, do you remember what our slogan is? The highest bidder wins. Let's start bidding now. The reserve price of this fruit is 700 million Baileys. 700 million. My entire fortune is only 300 million Baileys. That's terrible. If I buy this fruit, I will have to put my entire fortune into it. Look carefully, 700 million is just the reserve price. Don't even think about it with your little fortune. The reserve price of 700 million instantly scared away a large number of people, but the organizers didn't care at all. They were all poor people. The real rich people were the small group. I'll bid 710 million. Finally someone made a bid. 750 million. TMD, I'll bid 800 million. I'm from the XXX pirate group. Who dares to compete with me? A burly pirate stood up and shouted angrily. You little pirate with a bounty of 100 million, what the hell are you doing? I'll offer 900 million, I hope everyone can give me XXX some face. It's XXX with a bounty of 300 million. ... Finally, this Logia was even sold for 1.2 billion Baileys, and at this moment, a very disgusting voice sounded. 1.5 billion Baileys. Celestial Dragon's Charmako Saint finally made an offer. What were the things in front of him? He almost couldn't control himself and wanted to order his CP0 to massacre the scene. Now finally something interesting appeared. This devil fruit should be able to cultivate a good slave. As for eating it yourself, how can the noble celestial dragons eat such a dirty thing? He is not that cheap guy Doflamingo. To him, 1.5 billion belly is just a drop of money. He has 150 billion belly. It is not enough to ask the participating countries to pay tribute, and it is not enough to directly ask the world government to print on site. The scene immediately became silent, and no one dared to oppose the supreme celestial dragons. Lord Charmako offered 1.5 billion belly. 1.5 billion Baileys at a time. 1.5 billion belly twice. 1.5 billion belly 3 times. Congratulations to Lord Chalmik. The host was extremely flattering. The audience at the scene also clapped their hands enthusiastically, which greatly satisfied the vanity of celestial dragons. Amber stared closely at the devil fruit that was put away by the celestial dragon's guards, preparing to grab it when the celestial dragons were killed. The last thing I want to introduce to you is the last and most precious item in this auction. The host introduced solemnly. Even the staff began to beat the drums. The spotlight on the stage began to change colors. At this time, a person was pushed up. Items covered with white cloth. She has beautiful hair, a beautiful face, and a graceful figure. She is the darling of the sea, the treasure of the sea. All the beautiful things in the world can be used to describe her. The host used exaggerated words to praise, and everyone in the audience looked yearning. I believe many people are eager to see her figure, so I will show it to everyone now. The host suddenly opened the white cloth, and everyone finally saw the item inside. It was a mermaid. The upper body is a beautiful human female body, wearing sparse clothing, and the lower body is a fish tail. The female mermaid folded her arms and tightened them, looking very scared. This was a lost mermaid. Because he was very interested in the outside world, he sneaked out of the Fishman Island with a few companions and ran to the sea to play. She saw the fiery red sun, the white moon, and so many beautiful scenery, so beautiful. She was addicted to it. But those humans suddenly appeared and caught her with a net. She didn't know what mistake she had made to be caught, and she didn't know what these humans were going to do. She was very scared. Mermaid. Is this the legendary mermaid? I didn't expect to see such a legendary creature in my lifetime. She is so beautiful. I want her. She is mine, mine. The buyers in the audience shouted loudly as if they were possessed. After these people bought the mermaids home, some planned to collect them, some intended to watch them, and some perverts would do shameful things with the mermaids. Ever since Whitebeard took the Fishman Island as his own territory, it has become increasingly difficult to catch mermaids. Only the occasional mermaids who sneak out will be caught. Female mermaids haven't been auctioned for a long time, which is why they seem so crazy. Okay, let's start bidding now. Her base price is. The host was about to announce the start, and the buyers in the audience were ready to bid, when the voice of celestial dragons came over. I want this slave. But, Lord Charmakushung, this does not comply with the rules of the auction house, the host said tremblingly. Celestial dragons directly pulled out a gun and pointed it at the host. I said I want it, you humble slave. Sir, please, don't. Bang. Chapter 57 Celestial Dragons Massacre. The host was directly shot and killed on the scene by Celestial Dragons Charmako Saint. Wow, there was an uproar. Although everyone knew that the celestial dragons were cruel, they did not expect to be so cruel, but no one dared to have an opinion, since it was not them who were killed anyway. A despicable commoner, a despicable slave actually dares to resist me, this is what will happen, ha ha ha. Saint Charmik laughed in a sick and twisted way. Take me the mermaid slave back to Mariajoy, the Holy Land. I'm going to play with her tonight. Saint Chalmik ordered the guard next to him. Yes, Lord Chalmik. Saint Chalmik walked to the door with a swagger, and everyone at the scene knelt down to say goodbye, not daring to express their anger, for fear of making any noise and provoking the celestial dragons to attack him. Even the lawless pirates who had a bounty of hundreds of millions of belly were here. Tokoya lay on the spot like a docile puppy. Hey, that fat pig over there, are you just leaving like that? At this time, a cold voice suddenly sounded in the venue. Silence. Deathly silence. Everyone opened their mouths in surprise, looking incredulous that someone actually dared to scold the world noble celestial dragons in front of their faces. Who is it? Who is it? How dare you scold me? I will kill you, come out quickly. Celestial dragons Charma Kushung shouted angrily. A figure walked slowly from the corner, wearing a black cloak, covering his appearance. It's you, right, very good. A mere humble slave dares to insult me. I will torture you and all your family and friends to death. Saint Charmik said through gritted teeth. Catch him. The celestial dragon's guards at the scene immediately rushed up with guns drawn. Billy. Amber stretched out her hand faintly, and in an instant there was a burst of lightning, and all the surrounding celestial dragon's guards were burned into charcoal. Demon fruit power. The knowledgeable people at the scene immediately shouted out. The remaining celestial dragon's guards backed away in fear. Who are you? The squad leader asked in horror. Amber slowly took off her cloak and hat, revealing her handsome face. It's Thor. Amber with a bounty of 800 million belly, defeating Shichibukai, rumored to be tied with Marine Admiral, and destroying half of Eni's lobby. Someone at the scene immediately exclaimed. In addition to the nobles from various countries, there were also many pirates at the scene. Naturally, someone recognized Amber. After all, these pirates like to dream about defeating those big shots and becoming famous instantly. Everyone was immediately shocked when they heard Amber's name. Thor, what exactly do you want to do? At this time, a well-dressed old man stood up. This was the person in charge of the auction house. It's obvious, you've been kidnapped now. Wow. Amber's words immediately caused an uproar. What does Thor want? There are celestial dragons here. Does he want his life? That's enough. What a bullshit, Thor. You dare to attack my slave, I'm going to kill you. Charma Kushung shouted angrily, and then pointed the gun at Amber. Lord Chalmik, please don't do this. The guard team leader next to him tried to dissuade him with a look of horror. Snapped. Amber teleported directly in front of Charma Kushung and slapped him. His hood was blown off and he flew out. His jaw was crooked and all his teeth were knocked out. How dare you attack Lord Charmik? The Celestial Dragon's guard squad leader shouted angrily, and then led all the guards to attack Amber. Before they even got close to Amber, they were all electrocuted into charcoal. He took action against the Celestial Dragons. Marine Admiral is coming. Run quickly. After the people at the scene saw Amber beating Celestial Dragons, they could no longer keep calm and ran towards the exit like crazy. Before they could reach the exit, a few lightning bolts instantly turned the fastest runners into ashes. What happened? Help. The frightened people stopped and did not dare to move forward. Why are you running? Didn't I tell you before? This is a kidnapping. If anyone dares to run away, they all will die. Amber's cold voice came over. The guys at the scene were not good people. They were involved in the slave trade. It would not be an exaggeration if they all died. Amber killed him without any psychological burden. Then a few more so-called big pirates refused to accept the offer and jumped out, but were still electrocuted to ashes by Amber's move. The scene finally became honest and obeyed Amber's orders obediently. Come here. Amber pointed at the old man who had just spoken and called him over. Sir. The old man walked over cautiously and greeted Kaido respectfully. The people who arranged for you to release all those slaves wearing collars. But, sir, the old man hesitated. You know the consequences if you ask me to repeat it a second time. Amber said with a smile. Yes, come here quickly, get the keys, and release those people. The old man no longer dared to hesitate, and immediately called the people at the auction house to free the slaves one by one. The slaves knelt down towards Amber one by one. Lord Thor, thank you. You are our reborn parents. Now, you should escape quickly. The Marine Admiral is coming soon, so stay away from this island immediately. The slaves thanked each other and then dispersed. Amber called a giant slave over 10 meters tall to come over. Lord Thundergod, do you have any orders? The giant asked. Can you do me a favor? Sir, what are you talking about? I will risk my life to fulfill your orders. Kaido, the giant and upright man. Then help me send this mermaid back to the sea. Amber pointed at the mermaid. Yes, Lord Thor, even if I risk my life, I will return her safely to the sea. The giant patted his chest, then grabbed the mermaid's water tank and ran towards the shore. Amber looked at the celestial dragon still lying there and slowly walked over. Now it's our turn to have some fun. Amber said with a cruel smile. What are you going to do? No, don't kill me. Kill me, the world government will not let you go. Charma Kushung finally lost his condescending tone. He understood what was happening in front of him. The man is a madman, he really dares to kill himself. Don't worry, I won't kill you so quickly. Chapter 58 Celestial Dragons Massacre 2. Interesting for you. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 505. 126. 168. System, are you ready? Host, has controlled the live broadcast bugs around the world, and can then spread the images to all parts of the world. System, are you still somewhat useful? Thank you host for the compliment. Naval Headquarters, Sengoku received eyewitness reports. After all, such a large auction will definitely attract a large number of people. What, are you sure? Thor, Amber showed up in 1GR. Kidnapped everyone including the Celestial Dragons, Charmic Saint, and beat up the Celestial Dragons. And freed all the slaves. Okay, I understand, I will send someone to deal with it immediately. A-hole, Thor, Amber. Sengoku was furious again. Why does this B********** D keep causing trouble for me? Let's not talk about the past things. This time he dared to attack the Celestial Dragons. Doesn't he know the consequences of doing so? That is to completely break up with the world government. If you don't die, don't cultivate. Ha ha ha, this Thunderbolt boy has done what I have always wanted to do. I have long been tired of seeing those disgusting garbage. Garp, on the other hand, was eating senbei and laughing heartlessly. Garp, shut up. Sengoku yelled angrily at Garp. Marshal, do you want to inform Admiral Sakazuki Admiral immediately to go? The deputy next to him asked. After the Marine meeting a few days ago, Sakazuki volunteered to monitor the Sky Shadow Pirates. It is worth mentioning that Sakazuki successfully offended another Admiral Chingzi by saying, I will not be so useless and let those pirates run away again. Akainu Admiral's emotional intelligence can be imagined. No wonder he later appeared in Summit during the war. It was clear that he contributed the most and had the greatest credit, but there were still very few people supporting him in the entire Marine. Even Sengoku did not recommend him, so he had to fight Qingzi for 10 days and 10 nights. First, let Akainu not act rashly. The celestial dragons are still in the hands of Thunder God, Amber. Find a way to contact him. I want to ask him what his purpose is. The deputy quickly found the phone number for the auction house but came over. Brew, Moxie, Thor, Amber, First and Marine Marshal Sengoku. Hello, Marshal Sengoku, what prompted you to call me personally? I'm so flattered. Stop pretending. Thor, Amber, what is your purpose of kidnapping the celestial dragons? Sengoku came up and showed off his cards directly. What celestial dragons? Are they the fat pig-like creatures? Amber said with a joking smile. What do you want? As long as you return the celestial dragons Saint Charmako safely, I can make the decision and meet all your requirements. Sengoku promised directly. Really? If first want you Marine to disband, is that okay? I'm not kidding. How many evil things have you Marines done to help celestial dragons and the world government in the name of justice? I don't want to mention things like the Ohara incident again. What qualifications do you, a mere pirate, have to deny Marine's existence? Sengoku no longer tried to stay calm and said angrily. Just because I protected the people, liberated the slaves, and fulfilled the obligations that you Marines should have fulfilled but failed to fulfill. Marine was established to protect the people. Everything you have is given by the people, but you don't think about how to protect the people. Instead, you become the world government as a knife that oppresses the people. Why does Marine like this exist? Amber is confident and heartfelt every word. I'm telling you, if you don't let Charma Kushung go, you're declaring war on the world government. Sengoku didn't dare to take up the topic anymore and immediately changed it. Declare war. Then I really want it. You don't understand the true power of world government at all, you can't match it at all. Then I won't bother you, Marshal. I will solve it myself. By the way, Marshal, remember to watch TV. I have prepared a grand show for you. After saying that, Amber hung up the phone directly. A-hole. Sengoku cursed angrily. What did he mean by the last words he said? Sengoku asked the deputy next to him. Marshal, I heard what he meant was this. The deputy turned on the live phone bug, and a picture was automatically played in it. The picture was none other than Thor God, Amber, and next to him was the Tide World Noble Celestial Dragons, Charmak Saint. Thor, UB asterisk 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 D. ... At the same time, all the live phone calls in the world were weirdly automatically playing this scene. What is this? Who is this guy? This place looks like the Sabayati archipelago. Why is that man tied up? People who saw this image screamed in surprise. Hello, viewers. My name is Amber. I am a pirate. My friends on the road give me face and call me Thor. Of course, this is the label given to me by Marine. My personal strength is far from worthy of God. Name. Amber began to introduce herself. What? He is the famous wanted criminal. How dare he appear so openly, and aren't you afraid that Marine will catch him? People were even more panicked when they heard Amber introduce herself. Okay, that's enough self-introduction, now let's officially start today's content. This creature next to me looks like a fat pig. Do you know what it is? Amber said to the camera with a smile, and then handed the microphone in her hand to the mouth of the bound celestial dragons. I forgot to take off the tape for you. Okay, now let me introduce myself. Amber peeled off the tape on Chalmark's mouth. Don't kill me, please don't kill me, I can give you a lot of money, a lot of women and slaves. As soon as he took off the tape, Charma Kushung babbled indiscriminately. Amber didn't take it easy and cut off one of his thumbs with a knife at the auction site. Charma Kushung made a sound like a killing pig. Now listen to my orders. Do whatever I tell you. If you talk nonsense again, I will cut off all your fingers one by one. Do you understand? Chapter 59 Celestial Dragons Massacre 3. Interesting for you. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 474. 119. 158. I understand, Charma Kushung wailed and begged for mercy. Okay, let me introduce myself first. I am Charmachus, celestial dragons, nobles of the world, descendants of the creator. What? Those things are celestial dragons. People in remote areas who had never seen celestial dragons said scornfully. How dare he do such a thing to the celestial dragons? Isn't he afraid of the Marine Admiral? Those who knew the noble status of celestial dragons were even more frightened. How dare someone treat celestial dragons like that? It shattered their views. Tell me where this is. Amber continued to press. This is the Sabayati archipelago. What are you doing here? I'm here to buy slaves. The whole world is in an uproar. How could there be slaves? Hasn't it been banned a long time ago? What's even more terrifying is that near the naval headquarters, at the foot of the holy land of Mariajoy, heinous human trafficking and slavery actually exist. What is the world government doing? The celestial dragons, who are descendants of the creator, are taking the lead in the slave trade. People everywhere have accused the government of inaction. Dot 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 dot. Holy land Mariajoy. The system has controlled live phone bugs all over the world, and naturally it has not spared it here. 5 elders are enjoying Amber's live show throughout the entire process. The 5 people were furious. This pirate is challenging the authority of the world government. We must not let him go. Absolutely put to death. Then I called Sengoku immediately. Sengoku, what are you doing? You allowed the majestic celestial dragons to be kidnapped and tortured by a pirate, or tortured in a live broadcast around the world. How did you, Marine Marshal, do it? Send Admiral to me immediately to rescue the celestial dragons. Be sure to ensure the safety of the celestial dragons. I understand, I'll send Akainu there now. That pirate must not be let go. He must be caught and executed in public to let others know the consequences of resisting the world government. Next, several people scolded Sengoku several times. Dot 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 dot. Naval Headquarters. This B asterisk 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 D, how dare he? Immediately order Akainu to stop him and rescue Saint Chalmok. Yes, Marshal Sengoku. The deputy immediately went out to make a call. Dot 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 dot. Next, let's play a game. Do you know what death by 1,000 cuts is? Amber said with a smile. Death by 1,000 cuts. Charma Kushung asked in horror. This is an ancient punishment from the mysterious East, which is to use a knife to cut off the fat on your body one by one, 1,000 knives, 10,000 knives. Suddenly, Charma Kushung's crotch became wet. It turned out that he peed because he was frightened. No. No, please. Saint Chalmok wailed and begged for mercy. When you executed those slaves at will, they begged you the same way. How did you treat them in the end? Also, you turned so many people into slaves, and when their relatives begged you for mercy, how do you treat them? Answer me. Amber yelled the last sentence. Me. Amber raised the knife and cut Charma Kushung in the abdomen. Ah, Charma Kushung yelled crazily. The more pampered a person is, the lower his tolerance for pain. Amber continued the execution, first using 5 knives to cripple the 5 limbs of Saint Charma. Then continue to operate on the body. Dot 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 dot. This is too scary. Help, I can't stand it anymore. Vomit. Thousands of people were watching the live broadcast of this execution. Because the scene was so cruel, some people couldn't stand it anymore and screamed, and some even vomited. Dot 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 dot. Sabayati Archipelago, Shaki's bar. Rayleigh and Shaki couldn't help but feel chills when they saw the bloody methods in the live broadcast. Does Amber have any grudge against the celestial dragons? Rayleigh asked in confusion. Impossible. I checked his information. He first appeared in a certain town in East Blue and has nothing to do with celestial dragons. Shaki shook his head. Then how could he be so cruel to that celestial dragons? It's possible that what he said is true, he just doesn't like celestial dragons. Dot 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 dot. New World, Moby DK. Dad, this Amber is so awesome. How dare he treat celestial dragons like this? Marco said with a smile. Hoo la 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 la, what a fearless kid. Whitebeard took a sip of wine and laughed. This Brad reminded him of his former captain, Rox. Does this kid also have the ambition to subvert the world? Whitebeard murmured to himself. Dot 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 dot. New World, Dressrosa, Ka. Doflamingo laughed maniacally. Thor Amber, if nothing else, you did a really good job in this matter. Those arrogant guys were finally slapped in the face. Dot 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 dot. Naval Headquarters. Akainu hasn't arrived yet, Sengoku asked anxiously. Report, Akainu Admiral has arrived at 1GR. Tell him to hurry up and rescue. Dot 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 dot. Celestial Dragon's Charma Kushung doesn't have much good meat left in his body. The most important thing is that Amber accurately avoided all the vital parts. Even now, you can clearly see the exposed heart of Saint Chalmok, but he is still alive. Please, kill me. No, it's only 1,000 knives now. I'm going to give you another 10,000 knives. As long as you can survive, I will let you go. Amber continued to deceive Saint Charmaine with her nonsense. Suddenly, Amber's heart network felt a very powerful aura landing on the island, and she knew it was time to end. It's such a pity that I can't continue playing. Goodbye. After saying that, he threw the knife aside and used thunder and lightning to reduce Charmok to dregs. Since the celestial dragons are dead, you should go and accompany it. Amber turned back to the remaining men. Sir, please let me go, I'm willing to do anything. Sir, I have an old man above me and a young man below me. I am the only one who supports the whole family. Sir, please forgive me. These people watched Amber execute the celestial dragons on the spot, and they were extremely afraid of Amber. Okay. Then all. Amber deliberately lengthened her voice. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. These people quickly knelt down and thanked him. Quote dot dot dot. I won't let you go. Divine punishment. A bolt of lightning from Amber electrocuted them into ashes. The reason why I won't let them go is, traffickers must die. Chapter 60 Celestial Dragons Massacre 4. Finally, friends of Sabayati Archipelago 1GR, I would like to remind you that the Marine Admiral is coming, you'd better run away for your life. The world government may destroy this island just to vent its anger. Amber warned, because the battle between him and Marine Admiral might destroy the island later. Of course, if Amber wants to leave now, she can leave at any time, and she can return to the Thor with a teleport. But if Amber drifts away, she needs to take a wave, but she can leave at any time anyway, so she's afraid of being ed. After placing the box containing the Logia devil fruit into the system's built-in space, Amber continued the live broadcast and waited in the open space in front of the auction venue. Who is the admiral? I hope it's not Kizaru, otherwise I won't have the speed advantage and I won't be used to fighting. A figure flew over through the air. Amber took a look. Great, it was actually him, our dear Akainu Admiral, the future Marshal Akainu. Akainu landed not far from Amber. It seems it's too late, the celestial dragons have been killed by you. Akainu's voice was cold and hoarse, which made people very uncomfortable. Yeah, you Marines are too slow. It's Akainu Admiral, now this evil pirate is finished. Some people were very excited and shouted excitedly. You fart. He is obviously a hero, didn't you see what that celestial dragons did? Some people expressed opposition. Why is Thor afraid of Marine Admiral? He tied with Marine Admiral last time. That's just a rumor. He has only defeated 2 Shichibukai. At most, he is only as strong as the Shichibukai. How can he be Admiral's opponent? The people quarreled over the issue of combat power. It's like Hamey constantly arguing about who is stronger, the 4 emperors or the Admiral. You didn't run away. You were so confident. Looking at Amber sitting there with her legs crossed, Akainu couldn't help but said. I feel like I can handle this small scene. Amber shrugged fearlessly. A small scene. This is not a small scene. You have committed a heinous crime. You must be arrested and brought to justice today. Akainu frowned. No, I'm not saying the noise I made was small, I'm talking about you, it's just a small scene to me. A pirate who doesn't know the heights of the world, but he was lucky enough to escape from Xingzi's hands, do he think he is invincible? Great eruption. Akainu launched an attack, and the fist made of magma stretched far forward, getting bigger and bigger, and finally turned into a fist of more than 10 meters of magma. 100 million volts. Divine punishment. Amber showed no sign of weakness, raised her hand and released a thunder pillar as thick as a water tank, blasting towards the magma. Rumble. Thunder and lightning struck the magma, erupting into ash that filled the sky, covering the sky and the sun, as if a volcano was erupting. As expected of someone who can fight against Xingzi, give it a try and come again. Akainu's left hand also turned into lava, and he began to punch, ola, with both hands, and countless magma flew towards him. Amber teleported and disappeared within Akainu's attack range. Endless magma blasted onto the ground, turning the entire land into a sea of magma. Amber teleported behind Akainu, opened her hand, and the thunder sword appeared in her hand, slashing hard, instantly cutting off Akainu's entire arm, and chopped out a pile of magma. It was completely useless, Akainu sensed it in advance and elementally dodged the attack. Dark Hound. The next moment, Akainu turned around and stretched his arms into the shape of a dog's head, exuding scorching heat. Amber teleported away again. Damn you kid, can you just hide? Akainu cursed angrily. Does the great Akainu Admiral have no brains? He actually prevents his enemies from hiding. Amber sneered. You're a brat who only knows how to hide, but you dare to challenge Marine's justice with so little ability. Akainu also immediately replied. You must know that Akainu is also a master of bad mouth. In the original work, he was the bad-mouthed Whitebeard, who provoked Ace back. Finally killed Ace. On the Thor, everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates watched the battle between Amber and Akainu through the video. What's going on? This is different from the plan. Didn't Amber say he would come back after killing the Celestial Dragons? Why is he fighting with the Marine Admiral again now? Nami looked at the image and said worriedly. This idiot captain must have overturned the plan without authorization. He is a fighting maniac. When he saw Marine Admiral, he couldn't help but want to fight. Perona complained, but her tone was full of worry. Although this idiot captain was a philanderer, he was trying to scare her, but he was still very kind to her and made her feel like a companion, which was completely different from what she had with Moria. So, are we going to help Amber? Canis asked worriedly. Amber, it must be okay. Robin muttered to himself. Other partners are also extremely worried. Only Zoro was the calmest at this time. Don't worry blindly. Have you ever seen Amber do anything you're not sure about? We just need to trust him. This is the responsibility of the deputy captain. Bringing people together in the captain's absence. Are all newcomers so fierce these days? They actually started G with Admiral. Doflamingo looked surprised to see Amber actually being able to fight Admiral alone. Akainu hasn't tried his best yet. I don't know if you can withstand it. Doflamingo appears frequently and thinks he is the protagonist. Little does he know that the next boss to be defeated is him. Hide. Let me see how you can hide with this move, Meteor Volcano. Akainu's 2 arms turned into magma at the same time, producing a large number of huge magma fists and launching them into the sky. Then the magma continued to fall from the sky like a meteor shower, in the exact direction where Amber was. Does Admiral carry out such a large-scale attack? It is indeed a mobile natural disaster. 200 million volts. Thor. Amber's hair stood up, like a Saiyan, and her whole body was filled with thunder and lightning, which also outlined mysterious patterns. Raising his hands high, he controlled all the lightning to compress it, and finally turned into a thunder ball several meters long. Thunder bomb. Amber threw the thunder ball violently. After approaching the magma of Akainu, the thunderball instantly expanded to a size of tens of meters, and finally exploded. The energy spread to the entire sky, like a nuclear explosion, and even the clouds in the sky were washed away. Chapter 61 Celestial Dragons Massacre 5. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 104. 26. 35. Dark Hound. Akainu passed directly through the dust generated by the explosion and launched another attack. Amber just turned sideways and dodged, and the thunder sword in her right hand instantly formed and pierced Akainu. Magma splashed everywhere. Akainu ignored the thunder sword on his chest and continued to swing his fist. Amber teleported away. Suffer death. Akainu lives up to his title and fights like a mad dog, constantly attacking. Amber could only fight and retreat, and got into trouble with Akainu, taking the wise saying of the great man. When the enemy advances, we retreat, and when the enemy retreats, we pursue, to the extreme. If you attack, I will teleport away. If you stop there, I will continue to launch thunder and lightning to attack you. Gradually, the entire area was pockmarked by the two men. Thor, Amber, if you only have this ability, I'm so disappointed. Seeing that he couldn't attack Amber for a long time, Akainu wanted to use words to stimulate Amber to fight head-on. Amber sneered, Akainu, haven't you noticed it for so long? Discovered. Akainu was very confused. Suddenly, the sky was filled with dark clouds and there was loud thunder. It turns out that Amber has been using Akainu's magma to heat this area just now. Now the water vapor has finally risen enough that it will finally rain. Enjoy it. Cage of heaven and earth. Amber sneered and began to pull the thunder and lightning in the clouds. The thunder and lightning in the sky no longer flashed randomly, but dozens of thunder and lightning formed a huge cage and enveloped Akainu. Oops. Akainu was shocked and wanted to escape, but the lightning was so fast that it instantly enveloped him and controlled him. Dozens of thunder and lightning continued to wreak havoc on Akainu's magma body. No matter how powerful Akainu's armor was, he could not withstand so many attacks. But it was still unable to seriously injure Akainu, leaving him with only a few superficial wounds. After all, it's just a skill focused on control, similar to an upgraded version of 10,000 Kingdoms, shocking palm. No way. Admiral just lost like this. The God of Thunder is so powerful. Perhaps the God of Thunder has a combat power that surpasses the four emperors. He really looks like a legendary god. The people who were watching didn't know what was going on and began to make random guesses. Akainu, this guy underestimates the enemy too much. He didn't discover the opponent's trick for so long. Sengoku complained dissatisfiedly. It seems that Akainu alone cannot take down Thunder God, Amber quickly. Where is Garp? Sengoku asked his deputy. Report, Vice Admiral Garp is approaching the Sabayati archipelago. I hope I can catch Thor this time. Sengoku sighed helplessly. When receiving the news that Thor had kidnapped the celestial dragons, Sengoku sent Garp to lead the fleet to support them. Although the naval headquarters is very close to the Sabayati archipelago, it still takes more than 2 hours for the warship to reach the Sabayati archipelago. Amber took out a Bailey from the system space and wrapped it in an armed color. Super electromagnetic gun. Then he uses electromagnetism to accelerate Bailey, who instantly transforms into a beam of light and shoots towards Akainu. Call out. The beam of light pierced Akainu's shoulder, leaving a wound. Don't underestimate Admiral. Do you think you can defeat Marine's most powerful force just by relying on some tricks? Akainu carried the thunder and lightning hard, his body turned into magma, and rushed underground, and the magma melted into the ground. The lightning lost its target and raged across the ground, turning a kilometer range into scorched earth. After losing her target, Amber immediately flew into the air. The moment Amber left the ground that had been scorched by lightning suddenly turned red. Bang! A huge spurt of magma engulfed all the land. The magma gradually turned into human form. Great eruption. The magma on Akainu's right hand suddenly expanded and turned into a giant fist the size of a house, blasting into the sky to swallow Amber completely. 100 million volt Brontosaurus. Amber's body was surrounded by a large lightning array, and she raised her right hand high, releasing a several meter wide thunder dragon and Akainu's magma blast. The two sides' ultimate moves collided, the sky and the earth changed color, and dust rose everywhere. Report Vice Admiral Garp, arrived at Sabayati archipelago. Then let's dock. I hope I can't catch up. I don't want to protect those scumbags from celestial dragons at all. Garp said casually while picking his nose. Garp doesn't care about the life or death of the celestial dragons at all. If his old friend didn't insist on him taking action, he wouldn't be too lazy to take action. Vice Admiral Garp, please don't say such words again, otherwise Marshal Sengoku will reprimand you again. After hearing what Garp said, the adjutant was sweating profusely and quickly tried to dissuade him. There is only one person in the Marines who dares to call the celestial dragons scum openly. I understand. Garp said perfunctorily. This is too perfunctory. Everyone complained loudly. After another duel with Akainu, Amber's inner network, which had always been open, sensed that a group of people had landed on the island. Does this mean that the entire army will be dispatched? Single quote. Amber complained in her mind. Seeing Akainu who was still attacking like a mad dog, Amber decided not to play anymore and just opened up. He teleported away, his eyes became blood red, and there was a mysterious windmill pattern in his eyes. The windmill rotated rapidly, and rows of skeletons began to form around Amber. This is your second ability that Qingzi mentioned. It seems that you really ate the second devil fruit. Akainu couldn't help but speak out when he saw Amber's actions. The evil secrets hidden in you pose a huge threat to the world, and I will get rid of you in the name of justice. Seeing that Marine regarded his abilities as devil fruit abilities, Amber did not deny it and let them do whatever they wanted. In this world, as long as you are strong enough, no one can do anything to you. You Marines really like to talk about justice. Then watch how I smash your hypocritical justice. Do you think I used all my combat power against Qingzi last time? This move last time was just a semi-finished product. Today I will show you its complete form. Susanoo. The skeleton instantly became fuller, as if filled with flesh and blood, and then began to expand rapidly, expanding to more than 200 meters high. Gradually, hands and feet appeared, and his appearance changed into that of a samurai, with a katana on his waist and a pair of huge wings on his back, like a giant who created the world. Chapter 62 Celestial Dragons Massacre 6. What is this? So huge. As the god of thunder, a hidden giant. How could there be such a big giant race? People who watched through the live broadcast exclaimed in surprise when they saw this giant that reached the sky. New world, Whitebeard's territory, on the Moby DK. Dad, do you know what move that is? Marco, the captain of the first team, was also shocked by the giant and couldn't help but ask Whitebeard. I have never seen this kind of move even in my decades of pirate career. This Thor is really incredible. Whitebeard frowned Kaido. This thunder god is obviously a person with thunder fruit ability, but why can he use such a strange move? This is not like the ability of thunder fruit at all. Do you think it could be the ability of another fruit? Team 2 Captain Portgas d'Ace expressed his guess. Quote. Ha, ha, ha. There was a sudden silence on the ship, and then a sudden burst of manic laughter. Ha ha ha, how can one person eat 2 devil fruits? Ace, your joke is so funny. Diamond Josie patted Ace on the back and said with a laugh. You guys. Ace had black lines all over his head. It's possible. Whitebeard suddenly interrupted everyone's laughter. But, Dad, this sea is so vast. No matter what happens to it, I won't be surprised. Maybe that Thor god, Amber is a person with a body that is different from ordinary people, so he can eat 2 devil fruits. Whitebeard slowly expressed his thoughts. Really? Does such a person exist? The captains were in disbelief. Marshal D. Teach, who was sitting silently in the corner, had a gloomy face. How is it possible? How is it possible that there are people like me in this world? Teach couldn't believe that there were people with the same physique as him. He had known about his special physique since he was a child, so he looked through all the devil fruit illustrations and finally found the strongest devil fruit that fit his vision, Logia, dark fruit. He stayed on Whitebeard's ship for 20 years, just to get the most powerful devil fruit in his heart, just because he had the best chance of getting this fruit by staying with the Whitebeard Pirates. He even plans to seize Whitebeard's shock fruit power, which is said to be able to destroy the world, after obtaining the dark fruit. When the time comes for his dual fruit abilities, he can devour with one hand and destroy with the other, and he will be the strongest. Whether it is One Piece or the world, he will be Marshal D. Teach. It can be said that his special physique is the fundamental reason why he has the confidence to implement his ambitions. Now that someone actually has the same physique as him, then he is not unique, and he will never accept it. Thor. Amber. Teach murmured through gritted teeth. New world, Dressrosa. Is this your true power? Doflamingo looked at this huge giant with a little fear. It seems that we can try to win over this Lord Thunder God. His ambition to subvert the world is no less than mine. Bah. Sabayati Archipelago. Looking at the huge giant, Akainu took a breath and was extremely surprised. Is this your trump card to challenge Marine's justice? Look how I crush it. As expected of Akainu, no matter what it is, he dares to stand up for Marine's justice. Meteor volcano. Akainu's fists turned into magma, producing a large number of magma fists and shooting towards the sky. Then the magma continued to fall like a meteor shower, hitting Susanoo. In order to destroy Susanoo's entire body, Akainu used his move with the widest attack range. Susanoo's left hand flashed with light, and the 8-foot mirror, a defensive artifact, appeared in her hand. Rumble. Bang. The magma continuously hit each of Susanoo's torso, emitting a large amount of ash and dust. The attack lasted for more than 10 seconds before stopping. A gust of wind blew away the ashes and dust, and Susanoo appeared in everyone's sight. Except for the 8-foot mirror defense, Susanoo's body was covered with cracks, but it was still not broken. If Susanoo was in its normal state, it might have been completely shattered by Akainu's meteor volcano, but Amber covered Susanoo's surface with an armament color, which greatly enhanced Susanoo's defense. This is what Amber learned from the theatrical version of Bullet in her own submarine fusion, covering the entire fused body with armament Haki. Bullet's fused body is similar to Amber's Susanoo at this time. HMPH. Didn't you manage to break it open? Akainu snorted coldly. But if you do it again, your turtle shell will be broken. Oh, really? Amber smiled lightly. I saw a flash of light on Susanoo's body, and she returned to her original state. What? Akainu exclaimed in disbelief. It's my turn next. Susanoo pulled out the 10-fist sword from her waist and slashed it diagonally at Akainu. Boom. Akainu couldn't dodge and was slammed into the ground by the 10-fist sword. The huge impact overturned the ground within 100 meters. Several mountains not far away were also flattened by the aftermath of the 10-fist sword. It was quite a bit like Uchiha Madara showed the full Susanoo charm in front of the 5 shadows. Amber beat the drowned dog hard, and the 8-foot mirror in her left hand disappeared. A large amount of lightning gathered and turned into a sharp thunder blade, making a sharp and harsh sound, like a flock of birds screaming. Chidori! He yelled and thrust into the spot where Akainu fell. Bang! Zitsa! The thunder blade pierced the ground fiercely, and then released thunder and lightning to wreak havoc, completely destroying the entire area. Bang! A stream of lava suddenly erupted from the ground in the distance, gradually transforming into the shape of Akainu. It turns out that Akainu once again escaped by transforming into magma and moving underground. At this time, Akainu looked shabby, his clothes were in tatters, and only half of the cloak of justice behind him was left. Damn pirates! Akainu shouted angrily, he couldn't bear to be so embarrassed by a mere pirate. Great eruption. His hands turned into lava and stretched out, forming 2 house-sized fists to attack Amber. Susanoo retracted the 10-fist sword and then slashed it from top to bottom. The magma fist collided with the 10-fist sword, and a huge shock wave instantly erupted and swept around. The area of 1,000 meters was moved to flat ground. The shock wave continued to spread, and finally the entire island was affected. Amber and Akainu started a fierce battle. The fierce battle lasted for several minutes. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from the air. Hey, Thunderbolt boy, have you had enough trouble? If you continue to make trouble like this island will sink. Then, a black fist hit Susanoo's chest hard, shattering the area and directly breaking through the defense. Susanoo was also forced to take several steps back. The person coming is none other than the Marine hero, Vice Admiral Garp. Chapter 63 Celestial Dragons Massacre End. It's Marine hero Vice Admiral Garp. That Marine hero chased the Pirate King all over the world. It seems that the God of Thunder has no chance of escaping this time. Yes, a Marine Admiral is enough for Thor to be unable to withstand it. With the addition of a Marine hero, Thor is really in trouble. Seeing Garp's arrival, the people watching the live broadcast exclaimed. ... Naval Headquarters. Finally caught up. This time we will definitely arrest Thor. Amber. Sengoku breathed a sigh of relief. ... New World, Whitebeard Pirates, on the Moby DK. It's actually Garp. It seems like Sengoku was really annoyed this time. Even Garp was sent out. The Thunderbolt boy is in trouble. Whitebeard sighed. ... Sabayati Archipelago. Isn't this Vice Admiral Garp? I didn't expect you to come. Amber said with a smile. There's nothing you can do about it. You've caused too much trouble. The world government has issued a death order and you must be arrested and brought to justice. Garp said casually to Kaido while picking his nose. I never thought that a little guy like me would one day get the same treatment as Golden Lion. So you want to surrender? I can guarantee your life until you are tried. Surrender? Why should I surrender? Amber said disdainfully. Mr. Garp, don't talk nonsense with this pirate. Let's go together and take him down in the shortest possible time. Akainu, who was standing next to him, interrupted the conversation between the two of them and wanted to give Amber a righteous gang beating. Akainu Admiral, aren't you a righteous Marine? Why are you still fighting the minority with more? Amber was complaining, but she was thinking in her heart, looks like it's time to retreat. Single quote. There is no need for morality to deal with evil pirates. Great eruption. Akainu replied coldly, and then immediately launched an attack. His right hand turned into magma, stretched out, and then expanded into a fist of more than 10 meters of magma to hit Amber. Garp is not a pedantic person. He was able to fight rocks with Roger, and later teamed up with Sengoku to fight Golden Lion. At the same time, use shaving to disappear in place, then appear behind Susanoo, and attack Susanoo's back with a black fist covered in weapon color. Attack from both front and back. No matter how strong Susanoo's defense is, it can't resist the simultaneous attacks of two masters. Then just give up defense and play something big if you want to play. If you don't leave any mark on your opponent, it feels like this battle is a white hit. The decision is yours. Akainu. Amber made a prompt decision, holding the 8-foot mirror in front of her chest to resist Akainu's magma fist. The 10-fist sword in her right hand disappeared, and she grabbed Akainu and caught Akainu in her hand. What? Akainu was shocked. He didn't expect Amber to completely give up on defending against Garp's attack. Akainu was caught and restricted from moving. Amber immediately jumped out of Susanoo's head and came to Akainu's vicinity. At the same time, Susanoo also fell apart under Garp's fist and began to disintegrate. After waiting for so long and holding back all this time just to keep Marine from knowing its true identity, now is the best time. His right eye was staring at Akainu, the pinwheel pattern in his eye was rotating rapidly, and a line of blood flowed out of the corner of his eye. Amaterasu. A black flame rose out of thin air in Akainu's left hand, and the blazing heat burned Akainu's skin. What is this? Akainu exclaimed and immediately transformed into an element. The black flames were still burning. Akainu tried to defend himself with his weapon color again. As expected, he resisted the spread of the black flames, but could not extinguish the black flames. The range of the black flames grew larger and larger. In a blink of an eye, the range of the black flames reached 50 meters, completely covering Akainu. Damn it! Akainu cursed angrily. He could only use his armor to block the black flames from burning other parts of his body, but the black flames on his left hand could not be extinguished. Amber teleported directly to a distance to watch the show. What kind of move is this? Garp wanted to move closer to check. Akainu immediately warned loudly, "Don't come over, this black flame cannot be extinguished." There is such a strange move. Garp asked in shock. The fire of Amaterasu cannot be extinguished once it is burned until it burns out. Amber explained with a smile. Thunderboy, you should be able to extinguish this black flame. As long as you extinguish it, I can make the decision and let you leave. Garp looked at Amber and said calmly. Mr. Garp, how can you let this heinous pirate escape? Akainu said angrily. Shut up. Don't you want this arm? And your weapon color will be exhausted at some point. The black flame may spread to your entire body. The current marine cannot withstand the attack of an admiral. A loss, and such a senseless death, Garp scolded loudly. Ha ha ha, Garp, I can leave if I want, I don't need anyone's permission. Amber laughed disdainfully. No matter what happens now, Akainu will lose one of his arms at the very least. I'm sure to make a profit. Okay, I won't play with you anymore. Goodbye. Don't even think about running away. Garp used Shao to move forward and catch Amber, but it was still a step too late. Amber had already completed the elementalization and teleported away. Thunder God, just ran away. I thought Thor would fight to the end. After all, we are facing Marine Admiral and Marine heroes, so running away is normal. Amber's immediate escape shocked the people watching the live broadcast and started a heated discussion. A-hole. Sengoku gritted his teeth. This time, Marine was slapped so hard by Amber that he lost all face. The combat power of 2 Admiral levels cannot save a single pirate. The speed of thunder and lightning is so fast, even if Kizaru is there, the most he can do is keep up with Amber's speed, chasing Amber all the way, unable to stop Amber from leaving. A-hole. Thor. Amber. Akainu roared angrily. The person who hated Thunder God, Amber the most was him. Not only was he tricked, but he was also left with this damn black flame. He had tried all the methods just now, and even if he soaked it in water, it still couldn't be extinguished. Akainu formed a palm with his right hand and cut off his left arm. Without the armor's resistance, the black flames immediately burned the broken arm. Damn pirate, I must kill you. Chapter 64 The third mission reward. Amber teleported back to the Thor, and Frankie immediately controlled the Thor to leave Sabayati Archipelago 1GR. Before Amber could say anything, Nami and Robin threw themselves into Amber's arms. Stupid captain, didn't we agree to come back immediately? Why did you change the plan without authorization? Do you know how worried I am about you? Nami cried and patted Amber's chest. Robin said nothing, but hugged Amber's arm tightly. Looking at the tears of the two and the worried expressions of other companions, Amber finally understood that he was no longer the carefree person in his previous life. In this world, he had his own partners and could no longer act recklessly as in his previous life and do things according to his own preferences. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Believe me, there will definitely not be a next time. Amber stroked Nami and Robin's hair and said softly. Next, Amber took a lot of effort to coax Nami and Robin. Boss Amber, where are we going next? Frankie asked. Amber thought for a moment, as the saying goes, the most dangerous place is often the safest place. Let's go back to Sabayati Archipelago to find Uncle Rayleigh. Let's practice well for the next period of time. Everyone nodded seriously when they thought that their captain was already able to fight Admiral without losing, but they were not even qualified to help. When the Thor was heading to Sabayati Archipelago 13GR, Amber took the opportunity to call out the system. System, come out to clean up. Ding. Host, you are still so handsome. What nonsense are you talking about? Hurry up and settle for me. Amber was very happy with the system's flattery. Ding. Checking whether the task is completed. Congratulations to the host for completing the system task, breaking taboo. The task completion is being evaluated. 70% of the people in the One Piece world learned about the slaughter of celestial dragons through the host's live broadcast. Congratulations to the host for getting a perfect rating for task completion. The system said a lot. Oh, yes. Finally getting a perfect task completion, Amber couldn't help but be ecstatic. System, I want to draw a lottery. Amber couldn't wait to draw a lottery. Last time, she drew Mangekyo Sharingan with only excellent completion, which greatly improved Amber's combat power. What will she draw this time? Will she draw Saiyan blood directly, or the same physique that breaks the limiter as teacher Saitama? A huge lottery wheel appeared in front of Amber. Start the lottery, she said silently in her heart. The pointer began to rotate rapidly, and slowly stopped after more than 10 seconds. The area where the pointer pointed clearly read, Majin Puppet Immortal Body. System, what does this mean? Amber asked in confusion. It means literally, that is, after the host merges with this bloodline, he can have the same immortal body as the Majin Puppet. The system explained. Amber suddenly felt a little short of breath. That is to say, after I merge with this bloodline, no matter what kind of damage I suffer, as long as there is one cell, I can recover infinitely. And infinite physical strength like the little puppet. Yes, host, system Kaido. Then I can do whatever I want in the future. Ha ha ha, if I had obtained this bloodline in Sabayati Archipelago just now, wouldn't I be able to defeat Garp and Akainu? Amber was very excited. Not only that, After obtaining the immortal body of the demon puppet, the side effects of Sharingan have been completely eliminated, and I can really use Gundam as a normal attack in the future. In the world of One Piece, the gap between the Emperor level, General level, is actually very small. Every battle takes several days and nights. The most famous one is the battle between Akainu and Xingzi's marshals. This is also the only Emperor, General, level single duel in the original work that has been decided. Amber directly comes with infinite stamina. Even if she fights for a year, she will not feel the slightest fatigue. Just ask if the Four Emperors Admiral is afraid. It is impossible for something to be much stronger than the combat power in the One Piece world, otherwise it will be easy to push it. Here is a buff of infinite stamina and infinite vitality. Suddenly, Amber thought of another problem. In the original novel, no one could eat 2 devil fruits. After eating, they would explode and die. But will Amber, who has acquired the immortal body, be afraid of exploding and dying? If it explodes, it will be restored to you immediately. I don't know whether devil fruit acts on the soul or the body. It is set to act on the body. After all, I guess Blackbeard cannot have 2 souls. Marco said that his body is different from ordinary people. Then Amber told the system her guess. Ding. Insufficient data cannot be analyzed. Host can try it on its own, but it won't die anyway. System Kaido. Then give me the fusion blood immediately. Amber ordered impatiently. Ding. Fusion is in progress. Please wait. Fusion is complete. After the system prompted, he hid in the toilet again. Amber only felt a warmth in her body, feeling more comfortable than ever before. I couldn't help but call my friends to share. Zoro, could you lend me your sword? Okay, what are you doing here? Zoro looked confused, but handed the black sword Chushui to Amber. Everyone, I want to show you my newly awakened ability. Please don't blink, now is the time to witness the miracle. After saying that, Amber chopped off her entire arm with autumn water. Ah, the girls were so frightened that they all screamed. Doctor, doctor, find a doctor, I'm the doctor. Chopper was so frightened that he held his head and whirled around. It took him a long time to remember that he was a doctor, and then he quickly got a bandage to stop Amber's bleeding. Amber, what are you thinking about? Why do you want to harm yourself? Nami looked at Amber worriedly and asked. Amber, you're so pitiful. Could it be that your brain was damaged by the battle just now? Robin looked at Amber's head with distress. The stupid playboy Captain Carrot finally lost his mind. Let's sell him quickly. He is worth 800 million Baileys. Perona is afraid that the world will not be in chaos. Hey, you guys, I'm not crazy. Look at my arms, this is the new ability I want to show. Amber shouted dissatisfied. Only then did everyone see that Amber's arm was not bleeding at all, and the severed arm was automatically reattached as if conscious. It's amazing. What kind of ability is this? It doesn't look like a human body at all. Chopper looked surprised. I call this ability immortality. Immortal body. Everyone repeated in surprise. Amber then told everyone about the immortal body's abilities. It's over. I was already a powerful and terrifying monster. Now that I have this ability, I have really turned into a monster. Perona said exaggeratedly, holding her head. Amber ignored Perona's complaints and opened the properties panel. Name. Open black lens bracket Amber close black lens bracket. Age. Open black lens bracket 17 close black lens bracket. Power. 7 stars. Agility. 8 stars. Physique. 7 stars. Spirit. 8 stars. The average person is 1 star. Devil fruit. Thunder fruit 7 stars. Haki. Armed color 7 stars. Information color 6 stars. Conquerors 1 star. Lineage. Mangekyo Sharingan Uchiha Itachi version Majin Muppet immortal body. Comprehensive combat power. 8 stars. 8.5 equipment bonus. Chapter 65 The Fifth Emperor of the Sea. Sabayati Archipelago 13 GR, Shaki's Tavern. I didn't expect that, little Amber, you really did something unprecedented. Shaki couldn't help but sigh. Akainu has suffered a big loss at your hands. You have so many hidden abilities. Rayleigh said with a smile. How can you survive in this chaotic era of great pirates without 1 or 2 killer moves? It seems that you have finished your work. Are you going to start practicing next? Amber bowed respectfully to Rayleigh first. Uncle Rayleigh, I'll trouble you next. The training plan I have prepared for you is mainly for your Haki and physical skills. After all, this is what I am best at. Zoro, I can also guide you in swordsmanship. Then Rayleigh told everyone about the training plan. Uncle Rayleigh, how long should I train according to your training plan? I don't want to stay on that island full of giant beasts. Perona asked while drinking her drink. Little Perona is already tired of training before she even starts training. This doesn't make her a strong person. Rayleigh chuckled. I don't want to become a strong man or anything like that. That idiot captain is enough. Perona said nonchalantly. Hee. I plan to help you improve your mastery of Haki within half a year. Little Amber, you are already very proficient in the use of Haki. I will mainly teach you the use of conquerors. You should have gained some insights from the previous battle between you and me. Rayleigh said to Amber. Is it Conqueror's Entanglement? Yes, Conqueror's Entanglement is a very advanced skill. You have mastered the 4 monsters in New World. With your ambition, you will definitely encounter them in the future. If you learn Conqueror's Entanglement, you will be able to fight them more easily. Chances of winning. Next, let's go to Rusukaina Island in the Calm Belt to practice. But before that, we have to visit a friend. After all, this island is still within her territory. Rusukaina Island is the place where Haki practiced in the 2 years after the Luffy Summit War. It is an uninhabited island, also known as the 48th Season Island. It is located northwest of Nine Snake Island. It is said that there was a kingdom in ancient times, but humans in the end, we lost to nature and could not survive. There are only huge and violent monsters on the island now, but it is a good place to practice Haki. Next, everyone in Rayleigh boarded the Thor and headed for the calm belt. The Thor, which does not need to be driven by wind, is just suitable for sailing in the calm belt. The entire ship is under the perception of Amber's hard network, and there is no need to worry about sudden encounters. Attack of the Sea Kings. It just so happens that we can temporarily avoid the sharp edge of the world government. Now the world government should be frantically looking for the whereabouts of the Sky Shadow Pirates. World government and Marine. The 5 elders scolded Sengoku severely, saying that Sengoku, the Marine Marshal, was incompetent. When Sengoku came back, he called Garp and Akainu to the office and scolded them. Just shirking responsibility layer upon layer. A tragedy that had never happened in the 800 years since the founding of the world government occurred. The other celestial dragons who also watched the live broadcast of the execution were all in fear. They significantly reduced the number of visits to the Holy Land Mariajoy for fear that another, thunder god, like Amber would appear. Madman, kill the celestial dragons. These celestial dragons put pressure on Marine, demanding that Marine immediately arrest and execute thunder god, Amber. Under the pressure of the celestial dragons, Sengoku had to reconvene the meeting against the Sky Shadow Pirates and redraw the plan for the Sky Shadow Pirates, of bounties. The next day, the news of the Celestial Dragons massacre, and the bounty orders for each member of the Sky Shadow Pirates flew around the world on the news bird. It's not that the world government doesn't want to cover up this kind of thing that damages the world government's face, but that the grandson of Thor was live broadcasting the whole thing and couldn't cover it up even if he wanted to, so he just made it completely public. The bounties offered by the Sky Shadow Pirates are as follows. The most evil pirate in history, Thor, Amber, the captain of the Sky Shadow Pirates, has a bounty of 1.6 billion belly, no matter life or death. Killing celestial dragons in public, fighting Admiral Akainu and Marine hero Garp, and causing Akainu Admiral to break his arm. What a heinous crime. A heinous crime. A heinous crime. Warcraft, Roronoa Zoro, with a bounty of 200 million belly, life or death. Queen of the Desert, Nami, has a bounty of 150 million baileys, life or death. Devil's Son, Nicole Robin has a bounty of 100 million baileys, life or death. Angel, Canis, with a bounty of 50 million baileys, life or death. Cyborg, Frankie has a reward of 50 million baileys, life or death. King of Soul, Brook, with a bounty of 10 million baileys, life or death. Princess Mononoke, Perona, with a bounty of 10 million baileys, life or death. Pet, Tony Chopper, with a bounty of 100 baileys, life or death. The bounty of the Sky Shadow Pirates has been strengthened like never before. In particular, the bounty of Captain Thor, Amber has been doubled, reaching a terrifying 1.6 billion belly. If the last time Thor tied Marine Admiral was just a rumor, most of them didn't take it seriously. So this time in the live broadcast, he fought fiercely with Akainu Admiral for dozens of minutes in full view of the public. When the Marine hero Garp arrived and besieged Thor with Akainu Admiral, he calmly left and finally broke Akainu Admiral's arm. This achievement was complete, shocked everyone. How could ordinary people understand who was stronger than who? How could they know that Amber was still a long way from Admiral, but they just relied on the speed of lightning and the weirdness of Sharingan's skills to catch Marine off guard? People only looked at the surface, and the result was that Amber escaped successfully and Marine Admiral lost her hand. They believed that Thor already had combat power comparable to that of Admiral. Coupled with the high bounty, many people began to call Thor the 5th Emperor of the Sea. After receiving instructions from the world government, Morgans, the president of World Economic News, openly gave Thor the title of Emperor of the Sea in the newspaper. In the end, it slowly became a consensus. Thor, on the way to the calm belt. Amber, look, someone has already called you the 5th Emperor of the Sea. Nami said excitedly, holding a newspaper. World government is trying to stimulate conflict between me and the 4 emperors. Amber shook her head and said. Neither arrogant nor impetuous, you are in a good mood. Rayleigh praised from the side. The world government still wants us to fight to the death with the 4 emperors. They are so greedy for profit, they are really wishful thinking, but they don't know that we just hide an upgrade. Amber didn't care at all, but the 4 top powerhouses in the sea were shocked when they heard the news. Chapter 66 The Emperor's Reaction. New World, Whitebeard's territory, on the Moby DK. This B********** D. Morgans actually openly declared Thor as the 5th Emperor of the Sea, in the newspaper. Is this the same name as Thor? It's too much. You know that this era is called Whitebeard. How can a newcomer he can also be as famous as his father? Portgas D. Ace, the youngest captain of the 2nd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, looked at today's newspaper and spoke angrily. That's right, a pirate who has only been at sea for half a year is as famous as Dad. When I see them, I will definitely make them look good. Diamond Josie responded from the side. Yes, the bounty has increased so quickly just because I killed the celestial dragons. There is nothing to be proud of. Let him know how powerful our Whitebeard pirates are. Just a newcomer. Most of the pirates on the ship were aggrieved. Don't be stupid, it's just a title. Marco, the captain of the first division, folded his arms and said calmly, on this ocean, you must always rely on your strength to speak for itself. And, Thunder God, Amber is also very strong. She escaped from Garp and Akainu and even broke one of Akainu's hands. Such a record is more than enough to be called the Emperor of the Sea. Which of you has it? Such strength. The pirates were said into silence. Whitebeard, on the other hand, was sitting in his seat watching his sons bickering with interest. Then he stood up and said, no matter what 4 emperors he is, lousy is Whitebeard. If he dares to come to our territory and run wild, it will make him understand the horror of Whitebeard. That's right. Long live Daddy. This era is called Whitebeard. The pirates shouted Whitebeard's name and cheered loudly. Only Teach, who was sitting in the corner, looked gloomy. New world, aboard the Red. The 5th Sea Emperor. This newcomer is really amazing. Red-haired Shanks exclaimed as he took a big sip from a bottle of wine. It's only been about a week since the last time, and the bounty for this newcomer has doubled again. What's even more unexpected is that he was able to escape from the siege of Garp and Akainu, and even broke one of Akainu's hands. He is the best in this world. There are really more and more monsters. Lucky Lou sighed while chewing on the big CK. But you can't become the Emperor of the Sea just by relying on newspaper reports. You need enough strength and power, but they haven't even reached the new world. The meaning of Marine's wave of flattery is self-evident. The title of God. Last time maybe the other sea emperors just took it as a joke, but this time they have the same title. I wonder if the Sky Shadow Pirates can withstand the Sea Emperor's anger. Ben Beckman took a sip from the cigarette in his right hand and analyzed lightly. And other pirates will challenge the Shadow Pirates and bring them down for the sake of their reputation as the Emperor of the Sea. This is the purpose of world government, to use the power of pirates to destroy the Shadow Pirates they hate so much. Quote. I see, you are indeed the vice captain. The other pirates praised him one after another. Last time, Hawkeye said he was very optimistic about the swordsman boy in the Sky Shadow Pirates, and then he went to the first half of the Grand Line. I wonder if they met. The red-haired man murmured to himself while drinking. New world, the territory of the BIGMOM pirates, Cake Island. Well, someone has actually lifted this kid to the same height as me. He is really underestimated, BIGMOM said with a smile while eating the dessert. Charlotte Maunder said, Mom, he's just a newcomer. We don't know how many pirates like this we have killed. If he still lives to come to the new world, we must let him experience the terror of the 4 emperors. On the sea not everyone can be the emperor. This is not an ordinary newcomer. He was able to escape under the siege of Garp and Akainu, maybe because of Thunder Fruit, but he fought fiercely with Akainu for a long time and burned off one of Akainu's hands. This is a real achievement. Katakuri, who was wearing a scarf covering his entire mouth, analyzed rationally. Well, if he dares to come to New World, I will kill him. BIGMOM laughed crazily. New World, Wanokuni, Onigashima. Bang. Kaido, who had 2 long horns on his head, took a sip of wine and smashed a huge boulder in front of him to pieces with the huge mace in his hand. When did the title of Sea Emperor become so worthless? You're just a bunch of brats playing Pirate House. Let's see if I don't smash you to pieces. Suddenly, the entire Ghost Island changed color. Calm Belt, Amazon Lily. One of the 7 warlords of the sea, Pirate Empress, the most beautiful girl in the world, Emperor of Amazon Lily, captain of the 9 Snakes Pirates, Boa Hancock is leading the pirate ship back home. After being out for more than a month this time, I robbed many merchant ships and returned home fully loaded. Open the door. Lord Snake Lady is back. Ah, the citizens on the shore cheered. As the red carpet was put down, Boa Hancock proudly stepped off the boat and walked towards the palace. Lord Snake Princess. Lord Snake Princess. Welcome back. The guards and ministers of the palace bowed to greet him. Granny Nu, known as Gloriosa, poured a cup of tea, opened the newspaper brought back by the 9 Snakes Pirates, and read it with relish. Because Amazon Lily is located in the Calm Belt, even news birds cannot fly in, and because it is a pirate country, there are no merchant ships to visit, so the sources of information are very scarce. Every time, I can only understand the situation outside by relying on the newspapers brought back by the 9 Snakes Pirates who went out to rob. Poof. After seeing the news with the title, Celestial Dragons Massacre Incident, Granny Nu spit out all the tea she just drank. Then he looked at it hurriedly. Live broadcast killing celestial dragons. Escape from the marine heroes and marine admirals. The 5th Emperor of the Sea. Granny Nu was so shocked by the news that she could not speak. It took her a long time to react, and she hurried into the palace to meet the contemporary Emperor Boa Hancock. Grandma Nu, what's the matter with you coming to see me? If it's not something important, I will throw you out of the window. Boa Hancock met Granny Nu in his dormitory and asked lazily. Hancock, something big happened. Read this newspaper first. With that said, he handed the newspaper to Hancock. Hancock took the newspaper and the first news he saw was, the world's most vicious pirate, Thor, Amber brutally killed the celestial dragons Charmic. Hancock opened his little mouth in shock. Chapter 67 Boa Hancock. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 316. 79. 105. What the hell is going on? Boa Hancock looked at the news in the newspaper and asked in surprise. You should still remember the notification sent by Marine a month ago. The notification stated that 2 Shichibukai died in succession at the hands of the man named Thor. Hancock nodded. I'm still wondering about the new monster that appeared somewhere. It was this man named Thor. Amber, who sneaked into the slave auction site of Sabayati Archipelago alone, kidnapped everyone at the auction site, released all the slaves, and finally started a live broadcast to brutally kill the celestial dragons. They were brutally murdered, and no one present was spared. This man actually dares to kill the world's noble celestial dragons. Hancock's sister, Poya Sandersonia, a user with the snake fruit python form ability, said with her mouth wide open in shock. This man is incredible. Boa Hancock's other sister, Boa Marigold, who was in the form of a snake fruit and a cobra, was also shocked. This man escaped from the siege of Marine Admiral Akainu and Marine hero Garp, and even broke one of Akainu's hands. This man's combat power is not much better than that of the 4 emperors. Granny New sighed. There is such a man in this world. Boa Hancock looked at the handsome face on the newspaper's reward notice and said with longing, I really want to see this man with my own eyes. ... Reporting to Lady Snake, an unknown, strange pirate ship covered in steel has sailed into our territory. A tall beauty was reporting to Boa Hancock. There are actually blind pirates who dare to come to my country without knowing whether to live or die. Boa Hancock said arrogantly with his eyes narrowed. Then he and his 2 younger sisters walked towards the main entrance of Nine Snake Island. Stop the ship immediately, or we will launch an attack. The guard team responsible for guarding the gate of Nine Snake Island issued a warning to this strange pirate ship with weapons such as spears and swords. This ship is none other than the Thor. After sailing for more than a week, the Thor finally passed through the calm belt and arrived near the waters of Nine Snake Island. The friend Rayleigh mentioned was Boa Hancock. Don't be nervous, we are not enemies. In order to prevent any misunderstanding, Rayleigh, who was standing at the bow of the boat, quickly explained. It turns out to be Mr. Rayleigh, not the enemy. Everyone, please put your weapons away. When the guards saw it was Rayleigh, they immediately ordered to put away their weapons. At this moment, there were bursts of exclamations. Lord Snake Lady is here. Lord Snake Lady is here. Amidst the exclamations, the gate with the 9 snakes pattern on it slowly opened, and the 9 snakes pirate ship with 2 big snakes on the bow slowly sailed out. One of the 7 warlords of the sea, the pirate empress Boa Hancock, stood proudly on the bow of the ship with her head raised. Sir Shiji is so beautiful. Lord Snake Lady, Sai Gao. Lord Shiji, I am willing to die for you. I'm so beautiful. Hancock shook his hair and said with a proud look on his face. The people below cheered wildly. As this, the most beautiful woman in the world, Boa Hancock. So beautiful. Nami, Chopper, Canis and others were attracted by Hancock's beauty, with red hearts in their eyes. Amber, Zoro and Robin were not affected at all. Hey, little Hancock. Long time no see, hello. Rayleigh said with a smile. So it's Rayleigh. What's the business of coming to our 9 Snakes Island? Hancock asked, stepping on squeaking high heels. Mr. Rayleigh. The 2 sisters also quickly said hello to their former savior. I came here mainly because I want to ask you a favor. The group of young pirates behind me want to practice on Rusukaina Island near your waters for half a year. Then he pointed at the Sky Shadow pirate standing on the deck behind him. This is not okay. The rules of Amazon Lily are that men are not allowed to exist. Letting these men enter this sea area is already based on your face, Rayleigh. Although there are no humans living on Rusukaina Island, it is still in our sea area. Even Rayleigh can't agree to your request. Hancock refused without even looking at the members of the Sky Shadow Pirates. Ouch. This is hard to handle. Rayleigh scratched the back of his head helplessly. At this time, Amber stood up and said politely, Your Excellency, I hope you can be accommodating. As a thank you, I can do what I can for Amazon Lily. Man, who allows you to stand on my side? Hancock saw a man standing up and interrupting his conversation with Rayleigh without knowing what was good. He couldn't help but become angry. Just when he was about to take action, he saw the man's face and the adult's reward order he saw. Their faces were exactly the same, and they couldn't help but stutter. Are you, the Sky Shadow Pirates? Hancock asked uncertainly. Sister, he is exactly the same as the man on the bounty order. He is, Thor, Amber. Boya Sandersonia said loudly. We are the Shadow Pirates. Amber responded with a smile. Hancock's legs immediately went weak and he fell on his sister. Sister, are you okay? Boya Sandersonia asked worriedly, supporting her sister. Amber, Lord Amber, I have offended you a lot just now, please forgive me. Come on, hurry up and prepare the dinner. I must entertain Lady Amber. Hancock ordered the guard next to him. Quote question mark quote. Everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates had question marks on their faces. The pirate empress, who was still fierce just now, became gentle when she saw Amber. How charming is this idiot captain? Even the most beautiful pirate empress in the world fell immediately. Perona couldn't help complaining. Amber, don't you explain. Nami looked at Amber with a smile, and Robin also looked over. Amber seemed to see a terrifying demonic shadow above Nami and Robin's heads, and she couldn't help but have a trace of cold sweat on her forehead. I really don't know what's going on. Aren't we always together? Amber smiled reluctantly. HMPH. Nami snorted dissatisfiedly. Hancock jumped directly to the Thor, and then walked towards Amber coquettishly. Master Amber, are you free to come to our 9 Snakes Island as a guest? I have some questions to ask you. Your Excellency, just call me Amber. Amber responded with a smile. Then don't call me the Empress, you can call me by my name, Hancock. Okay, Hancock, thank you very much for the invitation. Chapter 68 Alliance. Interesting for you. Selena Gomez posts powerful bikini then and now. More. 892. 223. 297. In the palace on 9 Snake Island, Hancock arranged a sumptuous dinner for everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates. Hancock, have you forgotten the rule that men cannot set foot on 9 Snakes Island? The conservative Granny New wanted to stop Hancock, but was kicked away by Hancock. I am the Emperor now, and I have the final say in all rules. You, the Emperor of previous generations, should retire as soon as possible. What's more, Lord Amber is very kind to me. Everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates didn't know the reason, so they just started eating carelessly. During this period, Hancock invited Amber to his room alone and said he wanted to ask a few questions. Hancock dismissed the 2 younger sisters and the nagging Granny New who had been following her. She turned her back to Amber and said nothing, but Amber could still feel the trembling in her body. Hancock, what can I do for you? Amber asked softly. Hancock was silent for a while before speaking. Lord Amber, what do you think of celestial dragons? The voice was trembling with a little fear. Celestial dragons. A bunch of trash that's worse than trash. They're a waste of air when they're alive, and they're a waste of land when they're dead. Amber thought of those disgusting celestial dragons with great disdain. As expected, it was the first time Hancock heard someone dare to despise the celestial dragons, ignore the authority of the celestial dragons, and belittle the celestial dragons as useless. He couldn't help but be shocked. Then, what do you think of slaves? Hancock asked cautiously. Amber. A group of poor people who are oppressed by the world government. I sympathize with them and will try my best to help them if I meet them. So I killed the celestial dragons and freed the group of slaves in the Sabayati archipelago. Hancock's tears couldn't stop flowing. Slowly taking off the clothes on his back, revealing the abominable flying dragon hooves. This is the heavy past that I am carrying. When I was young, I and my 2 sisters went out to 9 Snakes Island to play, and were captured by slave traders, and finally became slaves of the celestial dragons, and were marked with the flying dragon's hooves, which represents humiliation. Hancock spoke heavily about his tragic past. Amber said nothing, choosing to be a silent listener. Thanks to Rayleigh's help, the 3 of us can return to 9 Snakes Island safely. It must be very painful, Amber said in a serious tone. Secretly, the system hidden in the toilet was fished out. System, do you have the function to remove tattoos? Does host want to help the human woman in front of me remove this mark? Can you do it? This system is a god-level mission system. Do you think this system is just a job? As long as the host puts her hand on the mark, this system can help her remove the mark. The system said with a look of disdain. It is indeed a system, a good partner for time travelers, an artifact in all the worlds. Amber slapped him with a bunch of flattery. This is not about flattery, it is about worldliness. Hancock. In fact, I have an ability that can help you remove this mark. Lord Amber, are you telling the truth? Hancock was stunned at first, and then was pleasantly surprised. That's right, but I need to put my hand on that mark. Amber hesitated. Putting it on the mark means putting it on Hancock's bare back. Hancock's face turned red when he heard this. If it's Master Amber, it's okay. Then I'm coming. Amber slowly put her hand on Hancock's back, and could clearly feel Hancock's body shaking. System, please take action. Received. Removing. Removal complete. Hancock felt a very warm hand on his back, and then felt a warm current caressing his back. It made Hancock feel very comfortable, his face couldn't help but turn redder, and he fell into random thoughts. Hancock, it's successful. Amber called out to Hancock who was in a daze. Yes, really. It took Hancock a while to react, and he quickly reached out to touch his back. Still unsure, he asked the snake next to him to bring a large mirror and look at it. He saw that the original hideous mark was gone, leaving only a snow-white back. Really missing. Seeing that the nightmare that had troubled him for more than 10 years finally disappeared, tears could not help but flow out like spring water, and he covered his face and cried. Lord Amber, I really don't know how to repay your kindness. Hancock looked at Amber and said gratefully. It's just a piece of cake. Amber chuckled. My 2 sisters. Hancock hesitated. Leave it to me later. Lord Amber, I will devote all my strength to you. There's no need for this, Hancock, it's better if we communicate on equal terms. Also, didn't I just say that? You don't need to call me sir, just call me Amber. Amber said with a chuckle. Amber. Hancock tried to shout, but fell into random thoughts again. You know we just met today, why are we calling each other names? Could it be that Lord Amber wants to have S*X with me? Mary. Hancock imagined this picture in his mind. On a beach, Amber, who was wearing a white suit and a handsome face, holding a rose in her mouth, slowly walked up to Hancock, who was wearing a white wedding dress and a shy face. Next to him, he slowly hugged Hancock's waist and whispered, Hancock, marry me, and then kissed him gently. Ouch. This is so embarrassing. Hancock, who was caught in fantasy, couldn't help but shout out. ... Hancock, I have something very important to tell you. Amber suddenly became serious. Yes, please say, Amber. Hancock also woke up from his fantasy. You should also understand that what I have done is heinous in the eyes of the world government. There will be a battle between me and the world government in the future. So, I want to form an alliance with you. One day in the future, I will start a war with the world government. When the situation becomes clear, I hope Amazon Lily can be on our side. Amber said solemnly. Amazon Lily will always be on Lord Amber's side. Hancock said firmly. I disagree. At this time, a voice suddenly came over. It turned out to be Granny New, who appeared out of nowhere. Granny New, didn't I ask you to go out? What are you doing back here? Hancock said angrily. Hancock, you are too willful. You are the Emperor of Amazon Lily, and you shoulder the hopes of millions of Amazon Lily people. How can you promise so casually? If you get involved with Thor, Amber, the world government will definitely deprive you of the title of 7 Warlords of the Sea. Marine has developed a warship that can travel in the Calm Belt. Without the title of Shichibukai, this country will definitely be deprived of the title of Marine Destroyed. Granny New said seriously. Chapter 69 set out to practice. New mother-in-law, I have already said that I am now the Emperor of Amazon Lily. Hancock pinched his waist and shouted angrily. Besides, I am so beautiful that I will be forgiven no matter what I do wrong. Hancock held his face and said narcissistically. New mother-in-law ignored Hancock, but stared at Amber tightly. Thor. Do you want to destroy Amazon Lily? Amber chuckled and said. New mother-in-law, you misunderstood. I am not saying that the current Amazon Lily will stand with us, I am just talking about a possibility. In this chaotic and turbulent era of pirates, anything can happen, even the world government that has ruled the world for 800 years may be overthrown. I will not expose my relationship with Hancock, at least it will take a long time to prepare to realize my plan, so please don't worry, new mother-in-law. Overthrow the world government. New mother-in-law was very surprised, your ambition is really scary. This road is much more difficult than the Pirate King and Marine King. Can you do it? Of course, I can do it. Amber said firmly. I will always firmly support Amber-sama. Hancock clenched his fists and looked at Amber firmly. As long as you can ensure the safety of Amazon Lily, the rest is up to you. Mother-in-law New turned around and left. Hancock called her 2 sisters to the bedroom, and with the help of the system, the mark was successfully removed. Thank you, brother-in-law. The 2 sisters called Amber like this. After hearing this, Hancock immediately covered his face and said shyly, you can't call me like this yet. You have to wait until after the wedding of Amber-sama and me. ... After saying goodbye to Hancock, Amber returned to the lounge. Amber, what did Boa Hancock ask you to do? Why did you stay together for so long? Jealous Nami pinched her waist and came over to question angrily. Yes, what made Amber-kun so linger? She almost forgot about us. Robin said darkly while reading a book on the side. Nami, Robin, don't get me wrong, we just had a simple chat and didn't do anything. Amber hurriedly explained. You are kidding me, you stupid, playboy captain. You still flirt with other girls even though you have Nami and Robin. You are such a scumbag. Perona mocked in the air. She didn't dare to show her true body in front of Amber now, for fear that Amber would catch her and hit her on the head. Nami and Robin blushed at the same time after hearing this. Nami even said to Perona, Perona, I am not his. Robin buried his head in a book. Amber secretly breathed a sigh of relief. She thought she was going to fight, but Perona resolved it with just one sentence. She should be nicer to her in the future and not scare her casually. ... After staying in Amazon Lily for a few days, Amber and others prepared to set off for Rusukaina Island to start training. Hancock reluctantly held Amber's hand. Amber, are you leaving so soon? Can't you stay a few more days? Amber touched Hancock's hair. Thank you very much for your hospitality, but our purpose this time is to practice here, so it's really not possible. Amber, you can practice here on our 9-Snake Island. Our warriors here are not weak. Hancock continued to persuade her to stay. Nami on this side couldn't stand it anymore, grabbed Amber's hand, pulled Amber over, and then said to Hancock, Your Majesty, thank you very much for your hospitality. But we have already made a plan for practice, so don't bother you. Hancock saw someone blocking his conversation with Amber, and saw Nami holding Amber's hand intimately, and his face changed immediately. Who are you to Lady Amber? Why are you blocking my conversation with Lady Amber? Hancock only had Amber in his eyes, and didn't care much about the other people in the Sky Shadow Pirates. Nami was particularly brave this time, and suddenly grabbed Amber, who was still in a daze, and kissed her. Hancock was petrified on the spot. After the kiss, Nami said to Hancock as if she was declaring her sovereignty, Amber is both my captain and my partner, and most importantly, my boyfriend. We agreed to get married after circling the world. No. That's not true. Hancock clutched his chest and looked in disbelief. Nami, what are we? Amber reacted and subconsciously wanted to refute after hearing Nami's words. Captain Idiot, shut up. I said yes. Nami Haki said firmly. Hancock suddenly remembered that Nami said boyfriend, not husband, and reacted immediately. You haven't married Lady Amber yet? Hancock asked tremblingly. Why are you asking? We haven't done it yet. Nami asked strangely. Hancock immediately regained his confidence and immediately stepped forward and lay on Amber's body. You are not married to Lady Amber, so why should you make decisions for Lady Amber? It's my concubine who wants to marry Lady Amber. You. Nami's eyes were on fire and he gritted his teeth as he said, his right hand turning into a sand blade. What? You want to fight me? Come on. Even if you are Lord Amber's partner, I will not show mercy for Lord Amber. Seeing that the Shura field was about to begin, Amber immediately started to stop it. Hancock, Nami, don't do this. In the end, Amber spent a lot of effort to coax the two of them into harmony. ... Everyone started to set off. Amber, will you come back to see me? Before leaving, Hancock looked at Amber with tears in his eyes and asked. Amber put her hand on Hancock's shoulder. Hancock, I'm still too weak now, so I have to practice hard. When I become stronger and overthrow the world government, we can see each other more often. We meet often. Is Lord Amber proposing to me now? Hancock fell into his own fantasy again. You think too much. Everyone couldn't help but complain. Lord Amber, I will work hard to practice from now on and become stronger. I will become a solid backing for Lord Amber. Hancock said to Amber affectionately. Well, thank you Hancock. Then it's time for me to set off. If you have time, you can come and see us. We will be on Rusukaina Island for a while. After saying that, Amber jumped on the Thor. The Thor sailed into the distance. Amber, sir. Looking at the shadow of the Thor, Hancock felt lost. Sister, don't be sad, I will definitely meet my brother-in-law again. Boya Sandersonia comforted Hancock. Yes, I can't waste time here, I also need to become stronger. After saying that, Hancock went to start his own practice. Chapter 70 A Year of Practice. See Circle Calendar 1520. Rusukaina Island. 3 Swordsman Style 3000 Worlds. Zoro shouted the name of the move and attacked Amber. Amber held the Thunder Sword in her hand and parried them one by one. Although Amber's swordsmanship is not very good, her sense of sight is very good, so she can sense all of Zoro's movements. Gradually, at dusk, the orange-red sunset reflected on the earth. Everyone, today's dinner is ready. Conus's voice came from a black bird. That's it for today. Amber interrupted Zoro's attack. The gap between you and Amber is still so big. Zoro sighed, then put the knife back into its sheath, and the two of them walked towards the camp. Other partners have also received notifications from Conus's shadow bird and returned from other locations on the island. Hey, dinner is finally ready. I'm so hungry that my chest is touching my back, even though I only have a pair of bones left. Brook said with a serious face, covering the skeleton of his abdomen. Brook, your jokes are not funny at all, they are very cold. Perona complained mercilessly to Brook. Dinner. I'm so hungry. Chopper lay on Frankie's back, looking weak. Chopper, you are so messy. It took too long to transform today. Frankie slowly walked over with Chopper on his back. Sister Robin, was my move just now okay? Nami and Robin came back side by side. It's amazing. It's already as powerful as crocodiles moved back then. Robin was recording data with a notebook in his hand. Soon, everyone gathered together to start dinner. Amber said while eating. Everyone, it has been nearly a year since I came to this island. We will leave the island tomorrow. It has been more than a year since Amber and others landed on Rusukaina Island, and everyone's strength has also undergone earth-shaking changes. Rayleigh left in the 5th month, saying that she had taught everyone everything she could, and then went back to Sabayati Archipelago to continue drinking. Are you finally leaving? I'm really fed up with this island with nothing but giant beasts. Perona said excitedly. Miss Perona is indeed much stronger. Brook praised. As users of fruit abilities related to the soul, Perona and Brook studied and practiced many soul-related skills together. I don't know how far I am from Haki now. Zoro's eyes were full of fighting spirit. Great, I'm going shopping, and having a big meal. Nami shouted excitedly. Quote. Everyone started chatting with each other. Amber listened and opened everyone's attribute panel. Name. Open black lens bracket Amber close black lens bracket. Age. Open black lens bracket 19 close black lens bracket. Power. 8 stars. Agility. 9 stars. Physique. 9 stars. Spirit. 8 stars. The average person is 1 star. Devil fruit. Thunder fruit 8 stars. Haki. Armed color 9 stars. Information color 8 stars. Conquerors 7 stars. Lineage. Mangekyo Sharingan Uchiha Itachi version Majin Muppet Immortal Body. Comprehensive combat power. 9 stars. Equipment bonus. Over the past year, Amber has made great progress in all aspects, and has reached 9 stars in many aspects. The biggest improvements are Armed Color and Conquerors. Armed Color learned emission under the guidance of Rayleigh, and Conquerors has also improved from the beginning. Although I was unskilled, I can now accurately control the range and intensity, and have initially learned Conqueror's entanglement. There has also been considerable progress in other aspects. Although the ability to predict the future is still not as good as Katakori's, it is not far behind. Devil Fruit, however, has made slow progress and has not entered the stage of awakening. After all, Rayleigh is not demon fruit power and cannot give Amber any guidance. Reaching 8 stars was achieved through Amber's hard work and extensive practice. After all, she has unlimited physical strength and doesn't need to sleep at night, so Amber has twice as much training time. Now Amber's comprehensive combat power has reached 9 stars, and she is no longer inferior to any admiral. In previous battles, Amber relied on thunderous speed to delay and Sharingan's weird skills to defeat Admiral many times. If it were a 1v1 head-on battle, Amber would have been doomed long ago. However, now Amber can proudly say that I am invincible at the Imperial level. Even if I fight against a monster like Kaido, Amber is sure that I will win. Monsters with unlimited physical strength and unlimited life, I ask you if you are afraid of it. Name: Rorno Azoro. Age: open black lens bracket 19 close black lens bracket. Power: 7 stars. Agility: 7 stars. Physique: 8 stars. Spirit: 8 stars. The average person is 1 star. Devil Fruit. Open black lens bracket none close black lens bracket. Haki. Armed color, 7 stars. Information color, 6 stars. Conquerors, 5 stars. Comprehensive combat power, 7.5 stars. Zoro's overall combat power has reached 7.5 stars, which is much stronger than he was in the original work. His strength is considered to be at the upper level among Shichibukai. Conquerors was accidentally awakened by Zoro when he was fighting a giant beast one time, and he can still use it skillfully now. Name: open black lens bracket Nami close black lens bracket. Age: open black lens bracket 18 close black lens bracket. Power: 5 stars. Agility: 8 stars. Physique: 5 stars. Spirit: 6 stars. The average person is 1 star. Devil Fruit. Sand Fruit, 7 stars. Haki. Armed color, 5 stars. Information color, 6 stars. Conquerors, none. Comprehensive combat power, 6.5 stars. A weak little girl in Nami's original work has gained considerable combat power through systematic training, and she can fight a dozen Gecko Moria in a fat nerd state without any problem. The overall combat power of others has also been significantly improved, and they can all master the weapon color and observation Haki proficiently. The next day, everyone was preparing to leave Rusukaina Island. The direction of the ship is exactly 9 Snakes Island. Amber, do you want to see that woman again? Nami asked jealously. Nami, we are leaving, so we have to say hello to the host. Amber smiled. HMPH. What kind of interface are you looking for? You playboy. Nami snorted. Amber quickly hugged Nami into her arms and comforted her. Lord Amber. Hancock sighed and sat in front of the window. She hasn't seen Amber for half a year. At first, Hancock went there very frequently, basically once every half month. Later, Granny Nu persuaded her that this would hinder Amber's practice. It was better to improve her own strength, so as to help Amber. So Hancock stopped going there and practiced seriously on 9 Snakes Island, becoming much stronger than before. Sister, my brother-in-law's ship is here. Marigold rushed into Hancock's room and shouted loudly. Lord Amber. Hancock screamed and immediately ran outside. Chapter 71 The plot begins. Hancock quickly ran to the gate of 9 Snakes Island and saw the Thor slowly appearing in sight. Before the Thor approached 9 Snakes Island, Hancock jumped onto the Thor. Long time no see. Hancock, are you okay? Amber greeted Hancock with a smile. Lord Amber, I miss you so much. Hancock plunged into Amber's arms. Amber felt a sense of tenderness, smelled the fragrance on Hancock's body, and couldn't help but stroke Hancock's hair. Mr. Amber, can you stay longer this time? Hancock said quietly. Hancock, we are here to say goodbye to you this time. Thank you for your help over the past year. Amber sighed and said regretfully. Hancock came out of Amber's arms and looked at Amber with tears in his eyes. Mr. Amber, why are you leaving so fast? Is it because I didn't do enough? Nothing, Hancock, you did a great job. It's just that I have to complete my plan. Just practicing in the calm belt cannot overthrow the world government. I have to travel around the world and unite enough people. Hancock wiped his tears and said firmly, I am praying for Lord Amber on 9 Snakes Island. I hope that Lord Amber will have smooth sailing. Thank you, Hancock, Amber said softly, and then kissed Hancock's forehead. Lord Amber, is this a confession? Hancock instantly turned red and fell into fantasy. After leaving 9 Snake Island, Amber and others planned to return to Twin Capes and take Brook to meet Laboon. After all, the original agreement was for 2 years, and it is almost here now. After staying on Rusukaina Island for more than a year, Frank took the opportunity to upgrade the Thor. Together with Amber's design drawings actually given by the system, Frankie successfully upgraded the Thor to have the flying function. Similar to Enel's flying arc, it also uses electricity as its energy source. The Thor accelerated with a jet, left the sea directly, and flew towards the first half of the Grand Line with a swish sound. New World, Whitebeard Pirates, on the Moby DK. After encountering and defeating a group of pirates, Captain Saki of the 4th Division snatched back a box containing a strangely patterned devil fruit. Look, everyone, I found a devil fruit that I have never seen before. Does any of you know what fruit this is? Sage asked everyone on the boat while holding the devil fruit. I've never seen it before. Diamond Josie was the first to speak. This may be a devil fruit that has never appeared before. Foil Beatus continued. Saki, you guys are really lucky. Ace patted Saki on the shoulder and said with a smile. No one noticed Marshall D. Teach sitting in an inconspicuous corner, looking enthusiastically at the devil fruit in Sage's hand. Yes, absolutely nothing wrong. This is the fruit I have been looking for 20 years. It's mine. Teach yelled crazily in his heart. At nightfall, Teach invited Sachi on the deck on the pretense that he had something important to ask of Sachi. Of course, Sachi would not refuse the request as a friend and agreed very simply. Sage came to the deck early, but Teach was nowhere to be seen. Teach, this guy, couldn't have forgotten it. There's really nothing we can do against him, Sachi said helplessly. The Moby DK is like the home of all the members of the Whitebeard Pirates. Thatch did not use the sensory color, but he did not know that a figure slowly approached him behind him. Poochchi. A knife stabbed Sage's back into his heart. Ah! Before Saki could scream, someone covered his mouth. Sage fell to the ground unwillingly, and through the moonlight he could see clearly the person who came. It was his friend, Teach. Teach. Why? Saki asked in confusion. It's my fault that you have something you shouldn't have. Teach sneered and snatched the box containing devil fruit from Sage. You. Saki died unwillingly and confused. You are finally mine. Do you know how many years I have been looking for you? Teach gently stroked devil fruit with a look of infatuation on his face. Then he swallowed it all in one bite, for fear of missing a little bit. After checking that no one was around, he took a small boat and escaped at night. Dad. Thatch was killed on the deck. Marco rushed into Whitebeard's room with an anxious look and shouted loudly. What? Even Whitebeard was shocked. Over the years, there has never been a case of crew members killing each other on his ship, and he has made killing his own companions the only iron law that cannot be violated on this ship. Soon the entire ship was gathered on the deck. Who is it? Whitebeard roared angrily. Crew members, you look at me and I look at you, no one knows. Dad, Teach is missing. There is also a missing boat. Diamond Josie reported back after checking the situation. Could it be Teach? How is that possible? He is an old crew member who has been in the pirate group for 20 years. He usually looks so honest and honest. Everyone was talking about it. Dad, I'm sure it was Teach who did it. Marco came to a conclusion after carefully observing the scene. Whitebeard sat slumped in his seat. That B************** D. Teach. Ace was extremely angry because Teach was a member of his second team. Everyone quickly tried to dissuade Ace. That guy is my subordinate. If I don't care about it like this, how can the soul of the killed Saki rest in peace? Ace. Forget it. Only this time, I feel inexplicably uneasy. Whitebeard said calmly. That guy killed his companions and ran away. The most intolerable thing is, Dad, your reputation has been damaged. How can I sit idly by and do nothing? I want to go find him to settle the score. After saying that, Ace broke away from everyone, jumped on his own exclusive boat, and sailed away. I personally like the character Ace very much. Some at war, Ace must be saved. If some people don't like it, there's nothing you can do about it. East Blue, Windmill Village. Everyone, I'm going to see. A young man wearing a red sleeveless vest, blue shorts, and a straw hat said goodbye to the people in the village. This person is the protagonist of the One Piece world, the son of Destiny, and the future pirate king, Monkey D. Luffy. Set off in a small boat. Puff. A snake-like sea kings emerged from the sea and rushed toward Luffy's boat. This sea kings is not simple. It is called the King of the Offshore. It first ate the pirate king Sig, who once single-handedly killed the 56 pirate emperors, stepped on the future pirate king, and shot 4 emperors red-haired Shanks in the head with a wine bottle, and bit off an arm of 4 emperors, red-haired Shanks. If Shanks hadn't activated his face fruit ability in the end, it would have finished One Piece in the first episode. However, it doesn't know that Luffy has become stronger through practice. Rubber. Pistol. Luffy punched the offshore king away. The villagers behind him breathed a long sigh of relief when they saw this. Since he could defeat even the king of the sea, it seemed that Luffy could really swim in the sea. Luffy held the straw hat in his hand and remembered the time when he met the red hair pirates. Shanks, I really miss you. One Piece, I'm determined. Chapter 72 Reunion and Parting after 50 years. After a week's flight, the Thor finally returned to Twin Capes. With a loud landing sound, the Thor landed steadily on the sea. The loud sound also attracted Laboon. Laboon let out a long cry. Crocus, who was leisurely lying nearby and reading a book, was also attracted by the sound. Laboon, what's wrong? Crocus thought Laboon was as irritable as before and hurried over to check. It's a boat. Crocus's eyes widened when he saw the unfamiliar Thor. Long time no see. Crocus. Before Crocus could react, Amber walked out of the cabin and greeted Crocus. Amber. Crocus screamed in surprise. Why are you back? Could it be? Crocus asked doubtfully at first, and then seemed to guess something. We have successfully found Brook. Amber said with a smile. Then, a skeleton with an explosive head walked out of the cabin. Brook. Crocus's voice trembled slightly, and his fists clenched subconsciously. 20 years ago, his original intention of joining the Roger Pirates was to find the missing Lumba Pirates. It's just that he followed the Roger Pirates and searched the entire Grand Line, but couldn't find it. Finally, he was disheartened and returned to Twin Capes to retire. Are you, Crocus? Looking at Crocus, who was full of white hair and wrinkles, Brook asked uncertainly. Are you so old? It took us too long to go there. Yes, 50 years have passed, and I have aged 50 years, but you. So, Laboon. Brook looked toward the shore and saw a whale several hundred meters in size. His empty eye sockets were staring at Laboon quietly, and Laboon was staring at him with wide eyes, and the two stared silently. After a long time, Brook slowly approached Laboon and placed his skeletal hands on Laboon's scarred head. 50 years is too long. Sorry, Laboon, we're late. Laboon's huge eyes were filled with tears, and he shouted, as if to say, why did you come back? Brook took out a musical shell from Sky Island, which was the last ensemble of the Rumba Pirates 50 years ago. Laboon, I have never forgotten our agreement. Music Bay released the last ensemble of the Rumba Pirates before their death, Binks's Wine. Yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho ho. I'll send you Binks, the wine that's been brewing for a long time. It exudes the fragrance that men from the sea often have. Everyone, I'm so sorry. I can't go sailing with you all. Brook bowed deeply. What are you talking about, Skull? Perona heard it and immediately shouted. During the year of training on Rusukaina Island, Perona trained with Brook as a team, so she had a very deep feeling for Brook, even though the Skull always told some strange and not funny jokes. I was originally a wandering soul from the old world to the new world. My adventure has ended long ago. During the decades I have been wandering in the Devil's Triangle, I have wanted to commit suicide by jumping into the sea more than once, but every time thinking of the fact that I still have an unfulfilled promise with Laboon, I told myself that I can't die yet. I still have a promise to fulfill. It can be said that meeting Laboon is my last wish in this life. I have finally fulfilled my promise. Now I just want to be here with Laboon. Please allow me to do whatever I want for once. Brook said with a regretful and heavy tone. Brook, have you decided? Amber said to Brook seriously. Everyone, I'm so sorry. Over the past year or so, I have been very happy spending time with you all. It makes me feel like I am back in the Lombard Pirates. I have no regrets in my life. Brook raised his head and looked at everyone. I hope you will continue to move forward. I will pray for everyone here. Now that you have made your decision, go ahead. But don't forget, we are partners. Amber smiled and respected Brook's decision. Skull, thank you for helping me in my cultivation. Perona reluctantly thanked Brook. Brook, Nami, Chopper and Frankie cried loudly, hugging Brook and refusing to let go. Other partners also looked lonely. Brook's biggest wish is to stay with Laboon. It seems that he has not met Laboon in the original book until now. It is a pity, so he arranged such a home for Brook. After resting for a day at Twin Capes, everyone sadly said goodbye to Brook, and the Shadow Pirates set off again. In a small town on the Sea of Alabasta. Leader Dragon. We have found traces of the Sky Shadow Pirates who have disappeared for a year. A revolutionary soldier wearing a cloak jogged to the dragon and reported. I understand. Long nodded calmly. Do you need to arrange for someone to contact you? No, I'll go see him in person. Long shook his head. Since Amber was born, she has attracted great attention from the Revolutionary Army, because Amber is a very strange pirate, and she actually attacked Marine in order to protect the people. After the Sky Shadow Pirates were established, they never attacked the people. On the contrary, many pirates who did all kinds of evil would be killed by Amber after encountering the Sky Shadow Pirates. When Amber defeated Crocodile, destroyed Ennie's lobby, and drew with Marine Admiral, many people proposed to recruit Amber into the Revolutionary Army. However, Long felt that Thor was too arrogant, so he did not implement it. When Amber started a live broadcast to brutally kill celestial dragons, she instantly gained a large number of fans in the Revolutionary Army, and the captains were also deeply shocked by Thor's courage. When the Revolutionary Army began to implement the plan to win over, the Shadow Pirates completely disappeared. Now it's finally here again. Thinking of the terrifying strength of the opponent and Marine Admiral, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Monkey D. Dragon, decided to meet Thor in person. Chapter 73 Conversation with Monkey D. Dragon. On this day, the Thor arrived at Alabasta again. The food on the ship is almost running out. Canis and I are going to go shopping and buy some food on the way. Do you want to go together? Nami said with a smile while looking at everyone. I'm not free. Zoro was the first to refuse as he was exercising with the discus. I'm currently busy making a secret weapon. Frankie refused while twisting a screw on a machine. This country is full of sand. If I get off the boat, it will hurt my delicate skin. Perona said narcissistically, touching her face. I'm developing a new medicine, and I can't get away from it. Chopper carefully played with a piece of medicine. I'll go with you. I just happened to go for a walk. Robin closed the book and said with a smile. Nami hugged Robin and said, Sister Robin, you are the best. But there's still one person left to get something. Single quote. Nami thought to herself, and suddenly saw Amber doing nothing, and smiled slyly. Amber, can you accompany us? Nami hugged Amber's arm and acted coquettishly. Okay, I'll go with you. Amber replied helplessly. Then, the four of them landed on the island and headed to the capital of Alabasta. Alabasta looks peaceful now. Since Amber defeated Crocodile, no one has caused trouble to incite civil war. Coupled with the evidence that Princess Vivi brought back to identify Crocodile, the civil strife quickly subsided. After all, the rebel leader Kosha has been Princess Vivi's good friend since childhood. King Cobra of Alabasta is generally a good king who cares about his people, so Alabasta's people's livelihood recovered quickly. Amber, hurry up. Nami looked at the slow-moving Amber and couldn't help complaining. Amber, who was carrying large and small bags behind, could only respond helplessly, It's coming. It's coming. Robin and Canis watched the interesting interaction between the two. Excuse me. It's okay. Be careful next time. A man bumped into Amber, took the opportunity to hand Amber a note, and then quickly apologized and left. Amber opened the note and saw it read, "Hello, Mr. Thor, I hope I have the honor to meet you. Address XXX. Who is it?" Single quote. Amber thought to herself. Marine. Impossible, he and Marine are life and death enemies now. Pirates. That's even more impossible. Then it can only be another force, a revolutionary army with the goal of overthrowing the world government. Single quote. Having the same goal as Amber, Amber decided to go and have a look. After sending Nami and the others back to the Thor, Amber came to the XXX location alone. It is an oasis off the beaten track. I'm here, come out. Amber's heart network has long sensed that there are several people lurking around. As expected of His Majesty the God of Thunder, your sight, hearing and color are truly amazing. I saw a few people in green robes and hoods slowly walking out of the oasis. Who are you? Why did you invite me here? Amber asked directly without mincing words. With your intellect, Lord Thunder God, you should have guessed our identities. The leader said in a low tone. Amber pondered for a while and said, I didn't expect to meet what the world government calls the most vicious criminal in the world. Here, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Monkey D. Dragon. The leader pulled back his hood, revealing a somewhat sinister face of a middle-aged man. There is also a strange pattern on his face, like a shoe print, which is said to have been slapped by him, lousy Garp. When it comes to being the most evil person in the world, Lord Thor is much more famous than me. He was the first person to take action against the celestial dragons in more than 800 years. Long said with a faint smile. Then why did Mr. Long come to see me today? After a classic business exchange, Amber asked. Lord Thor, what do you think of world government? A group of trash that has long been corrupted and will do anything crazy to maintain its rule and oppress the people. Amber made no secret of her disdain for world government. Then the goal of Lord Thor is to overthrow the world government. Long stared into Amber's eyes and said seriously. That's right. There is no need for such a rotten government to exist anymore. Amber said fearlessly. Your Majesty Lei Shen's goal is the same as that of our revolutionary army. Why not join us? Long invited sincerely. Is this your goal? Amber asked calmly. That's right. Lord Thor, you should know how powerful the world government is. Just one organization under it, Marine, is already the strongest force on the sea. If you want to overthrow it, you must unite all the forces that can be united. Long said seriously. I have no intention of joining you. Compared to an organization with rules, I still prefer to sail freely on the sea. Amber shrugged and refused directly. But, Mr. Amber, a revolutionary soldier standing next to the dragon was a fan of Amber. Hearing Amber's refusal without hesitation, he anxiously opened his mouth to say something. Forget it. Since Lord Thunder God has already rejected it, let's do it. Before the revolutionary soldier next to him finished speaking, Long interrupted directly. Because he knows how firm the beliefs of people with their level of strength are. Once they decide on something, they will not change it easily. Excuse me, let's go. Long called his men to leave. Wait a minute, Mr. Long. The dragon turned his head strangely. I just said that I won't join you, but I didn't say that we can't form an alliance. Amber said with a faint smile. An alliance, Long subconsciously repeated before he could react. Since our common enemy is the world government, why not join forces together? One day in the future, when we go to war with the world government, we will stand on the same side. Really? Great, Mr. Amber. Amber's fan of the Revolutionary Army said happily. So, how about a cooperation method? Long asked with interest. Next, Amber and Long carefully discussed various specific matters regarding the alliance between the Sky Shadow Pirates and the Revolutionary Army. The Revolutionary Army next to them recorded the details discussed by both parties and made a contract. Amber and Long simply signed their names on it. Happy to work with. Happy to work with. Amber and Dragon shook hands in a friendly way, forming an alliance. Mr. Long, I have an unscrupulous request to trouble you. Amber said suddenly. Your Excellency Thunder God, please speak. Long was stunned for a moment, and then responded generously. Can you spar with me? I really want to see the strength of the legendary leader of the Revolutionary Army. Chapter 74 Vivi Part 1. What the information shows is indeed correct. The legendary god of thunder, the fifth emperor of the sea, is indeed a fighting maniac. Just like in the Celestial Dragon's massacre incident, he could have escaped directly with the speed of thunder and lightning, but he stayed in place and waited for the arrival of Marine Admiral. Single quote. This move is also to test my strength. After all, no one wants their ally to be a weak one. Single quote. Long thought to himself, okay, I promise you, but not here. There is Marine stationed on Alabasta. The battle between us will make too much noise, which will attract Marine. I will wait for you at XXX Island in front. After Long figured it out, he agreed to Amber's request and give the address of an uninhabited island. Lord Thor, let's go first. After agreeing on a time for the battle, Long called his men to leave. Mr. Amber, can you sign your name for me? I'm your fan. Amber's Revolutionary Army fan took out a notebook and said excitedly to Amber. Huh, I already have fans. Amber was very confused. Although he was very confused, Amber was not a person with the airs of a celebrity, so she happily signed the contract for him. Revolutionary Army fans left with satisfaction. On the other side, the Royal Palace of Alabasta. Report to the king. A spy came to report that the figure of the thunder god, Amber, was seen near the capital. A guard quickly ran to the palace to report to King Cobra. PFF'd. What? The guard's words made Cobra, who was drinking tea, spit it out and shouted in surprise. Is the news accurate? Cobra asked anxiously. It was the spies in the palace who saw Thor and his 3 female companions shopping in the capital's shopping mall. The guard said with conviction. Where are the shadow pirates now? Their ship is docked in the port now. Your Majesty, do you want to send someone over? The guard asked. Don't alert them, Cobra said hurriedly. That's the most ferocious pirate in the world. We don't have to do anything. Whether it's alarming them or marine, we can't bear it. Yes, Your Majesty the king. Cobra did not notice that his most beloved daughter Vivi heard their conversation in a corner. The man who defeated Crocodile and saved Alabasta is at the port. Princess Vivi murmured to herself. Your Highness, do we really want to go out? Ikaram asked Princess Vivi uncertainly. Ikaram, staying in the palace is so boring. I want to go out and see Alabasta now. Princess Vivi said half coquettishly. Okay, then we must come back before dark. Ikaram was finally persuaded by Princess Vivi and agreed. But he must have never imagined that Princess Vivi went out not to play, but to take a look at Thor, otherwise he would be scared half to death. Soon, with the help of Ikaram, Vivi dressed up as a soldier and followed Ikaram out of the palace. Princess Vivi, where are we going? Ikaram asked strangely. I want to go to the port and have a look. Amber returned to the Thor. Amber, where were you just now? Nami asked strangely. Isn't Captain Stupid going on a date with that girl? Perona complained while eating ice cream. After a long period of training, Amber has become completely immune to Perona's complaints and even made fun of her backhand. So, next time Perona, do you want to go on a date with me? Perona blushed and said angrily. You idiot, fool and playboy Captain Carrot. She rushed forward to hit Amber, but Amber put her hand on her head to prevent her from getting closer. After making a fuss for a while, Amber explained where she had just gone. Leader of the Revolutionary Army. The most vicious criminal in the world. Revolutionary Monkey D. Dragon. Everyone was stunned by the news and exclaimed again and again. Amber, have you formed an alliance with the Revolutionary Army? Robin asked doubtfully. That's right, I have reached an agreement to join forces with Monkey D. Dragon. Amber briefly explained the agreement she had made with the dragon. Princess Vivi, what are we doing here? Naturally, Ikaram didn't know about the Sky Shadow Pirates. Only the king and a few others knew about it. Only then did Vivi reveal the purpose of her trip. What? Ikaram was so shocked that his eyes almost fell out. Princess Vivi, don't you know that that person is the most vicious pirate in the world, the one who dares to attack the celestial dragons? But he defeated Crocodile and saved Alabasta. Besides, I don't think those celestial dragons are good people. Vivi retorted. Princess Vivi, please don't talk nonsense. Ikaram carefully looked around and then breathed a sigh of relief. We don't know what Thor's motive was for defeating Crocodile. Maybe it was just the pirates fighting each other. But he never took action against civilians. Instead, he killed many vicious pirates. Vivi retorted, still unconvinced. Amber's unfolded inner network suddenly sensed 2 approaching figures, and teleported away directly. Ikaram is still trying his best to dissuade Princess Vivi from getting close to the Sky Shadow Pirates ship. What's going on with you two? Suddenly a voice interrupted their argument. Ikaram turned his head and saw Amber, and was immediately frightened to the point of sitting on the ground. He exclaimed. Thor, Amber. Quote. Princess Vivi, run away. Ikaram quickly stood in front of Vivi and opened his arms, trying to stop Amber and give Vivi time to escape. Hey, I didn't do anything to you, why are you nervous? Amber complained speechlessly. Ikaram, I'm fine. Vivi walked out from behind Ikaram. Looking at the blue-haired girl and the familiar name Vivi, Amber fell into deep thought, as if she had heard it somewhere. Are you Vivi, Cobra's daughter? Amber asked tentatively. You, why do you know Princess Vivi? What are your plans? Ikaram still did not relax his guard. Ikaram, Mr. Amber doesn't mean any harm. He is known as the 5th Emperor of the Sea. If you want to attack us, do you need to say so many words? Vivi directly told Ikaram to retreat. Down. Hello Mr. Amber. I am Vivi, the Princess of Alabasta. Vivi bowed to Amber very politely. Did you come to see me for something? Amber asked strangely. After all, she had never seen this girl before. I came here specifically to thank Mr. Amber for defeating Crocodile last time and saving Alabasta. Chapter 75 Vivi Part 2. That thing. I just did it casually. Amber said casually. No matter what, Mr. Amber saved my country, I need to thank Mr. Amber. Vivi insisted. You should just call me by my name. Mr. Amber sounds too weird. Of course, Amber would only say this to beautiful girls. Of course, Amber would not say this to rough guys like Monkey D. Dragon and Simbra. Amber, can I call you that? Vivi was a little shocked. She didn't expect that the world's most vicious pirate and the 5th Emperor of the Sea could be such a peaceful person. Of course, Amber replied with a smile. Amber and Vivi chatted for a while and got to know each other better. Amber, can I go visit your ship? Vivi suddenly made this request. Although Vivi is a princess, she yearns for the unrestrained life on the sea. However, due to her status as a princess, she cannot sail freely. Princess Vivi, this. Ikaram wanted to say something. Ikaram, I beg you to obey my order. Vivi interrupted him forcefully. Yes, yes, your highness princess. Ikaram immediately stood up straight and responded. Is that okay, Amber? Vivi turned her head and looked at Amber. Of course, Amber said with a smile. Then Amber took Vivi and Ikaram back to the Thor. Amber, who are they? Zoro, who was exercising on the deck, was the first to see it and asked strangely. Everyone who heard the sound was attracted. Idiot captain, we haven't seen her for a while and yet you hooked up with a girl. Perona was still angry about what happened just now. Amber raised her right hand, ready to fight, and Perona was so frightened that she quickly hid behind Nami. Amber briefly introduced Vivi's identity. Are you really a princess? Nami asked in surprise. Yes, I am indeed the princess of Alabasta. Vivi responded with a smile. Then we chatted familiarly with Nami and asked about life at sea. To celebrate meeting this new friend Vivi, let's hold a party. Amber shouted loudly. Good. Everyone responded happily. Everyone in the Sky Shadow Pirates is a group of familiar guys, and they quickly became familiar with Vivi. Even Ikaram, who looked like he was refusing, was dragged by Frankie to drink. Before we knew it, the party went into the evening. Ikaram fell drunkenly beside the table, shouting, Frankie, if we fight for another 300 rounds, I will be the best drinker. Vivi played truth or dare with a few girls. Ha ha ha, Vivi, you lost again. According to the rules, I can ask you to do one thing. Perona laughed. What do you want me to do? Vivi asked nervously. She still remembered that Perona had just defeated Nami and actually asked Nami to kiss Robin. It was so embarrassing. Perona narrowed her eyes and looked around. She saw that all the men were drunk, except for the hateful idiot captain who was still drinking idly. She rolled her eyes and had an idea. Idiot captain, let you bully me. Perona thought secretly. Just go and kiss Captain Amber. Perona smiled slyly. How? Is this okay? Vivi blushed immediately after hearing Perona's request and said in surprise. No, absolutely not. Nami, the jealous bottle boy, also immediately objected. Moreover, after drinking, Nami was much braver than usual and declared her sovereignty directly. Amber is my man. Seeing Nami like this, Robin was not to be outdone. He narrowed his eyes slightly and said, Nami, although we are companions, I also want Amber, and I won't let you take it all for yourself. Sister Robin. There seemed to be a lightning bolt between Nami and Robin. Enough. Perona quickly interrupted when she saw that her words almost caused a war. Sigh, it's just a game anyway, it doesn't matter if you don't follow the rules, and not everyone can afford to lose. Perona saw that her words were useless, so she quickly used the just because method to deflect the conflict. Who says I can't afford to lose? The competitive Nami was immediately diverted. Robin still just smiled lightly. Vivi, go, Nami said to Vivi. But, yes, Vivi was still blushing. Vivi, are you going to be a sore loser? Perona hugged Vivi and touched her sensitive areas. Don't, Perona, I'll just go. Vivi said hesitantly. Vivi was very fond of Amber because she saved her country. She posted Amber's wanted photos all over the room and collected all kinds of intelligence information about Amber. The more she looked at it, the more she became fascinated. Only Vivi knew about this. Not even his own father, Cobra, said anything. It is precisely because of this that when he overheard the news that Amber was in Alabasta, he sneaked out and wanted to see Amber. After meeting Amber, Vivi was moved by Amber's handsome face and the fact that she didn't look like a pirate at all, but had a gentleman-like temperament. Normally Vivi would never dare to do this, but today she made new friends, drank wine, and was forced by Perona, so she dared to do this. Vivi slowly walked into Amber. Vivi, how are you playing? Amber looked at Vivi walking over and said with a smile. Well, I have a favor to ask you. Vivi blushed and hesitated. What's the matter? Amber asked doubtfully. Vivi slowly approached Amber, then suddenly kissed Amber's face and ran away like a rabbit. Question mark. Amber has a question mark on her face. ... Vivi opened her eyes drowsily and found herself lying on a bed with Nami lying next to her. You're awake. At this time, Amber brought a bowl of porridge. Watching Amber come in, Vivi recalled her encounter with the Sky Shadow Pirates last night and the shameful things she did when she was drunk. This is the porridge carefully cooked by our little chef. If you are hungry, eat some. Amber, last night, that was. Vivi blushed and wanted to explain. I heard that idiot Perona said that she asked you to do this. Before Vivi finished speaking, Amber interrupted with a smile. That's it. Vivi suddenly felt a little lost in her heart. She wanted to tell Amber her inner feelings, but thinking of what Nami and Robin said last night, she lowered her head in frustration. Amber suddenly approached her ear and said, Princess's kiss is so soft. Vivi blushed again instantly and glanced at Amber with shame and anger. ... It's over. I actually took Princess Vivi out all night. His Majesty the King will definitely be angry. Early in the morning, Ikaram was walking around holding his head. Okay, Ikares, let's go back now, and I will explain it to my father. Vivi said helplessly. Then he said to Amber, Amber, how long will you stay in Alabasta? Can I still come to you? Sorry Vivi, we may have to leave soon. Amber said regretfully. Vivi's face immediately turned pale. It's okay, Vivi, you will always be our friend. We will come see you again next time. Nami came up and held Vivi's hand to comfort her. Well, I'm waiting for you. Vivi slowed down and forced a smile. The Thor slowly sailed into the distance, and Vivi and Ikaram stood on the port waving their arms goodbye. Princess Vivi, we should go back. Ikaram reminded. Amber, can we meet again? Single quote.